The ghosts are moving tonight, rest hungry.
Good evening, Internet. Good evening, Lucifer Storm.
Good evening, good sir. How the devil art thou?
I art fantastic this evening.
Excellent.
How art
That's
thou?
what I like to hear. I'm not too bad. Tired, but a good tired.
How's your wee horny friend doing?
John, he's doing all right. Bless him. He's been a bit mouthy lately, but I think he's calmed down now.
Right. That with a light bulb in his mouth.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So here we are. Once more, another Team Dark live stream, 1 hour earlier than normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it kind of made sense. It did.
I think it does.
It's one of those things. It just kind of makes sense.
We
are currently out there on the YouTube, on the Facebook, and to the one person that watches us on that Twitch, whoever you are.
Of course. Bless him or her, as the case may be.
And also, one of the reasons for moving it forward a bit is because I thought, we're always keeping Pete up. He needs to get to work in the morning. So, good evening, Pete. I hope you don't mind the early start. I hope it's better having the early start. We are indeed. I'm well. Fit. That's all relative. Fit. I've got a set of weights that I think I've used them once in the last year in the lockdown. I used to use them a lot more before the lockdown, but so yeah, not the most fit these days. Definitely
same here. Yeah, same here, especially with the work schedule. Just like, it used to be sort of like get up, like lift some weights, do some exercise, then get on with work. But because I've got so much work coming on, it's like get up, just get straight to fucking work. Exercise, that can wait.
Date to work, exactly. That's me exercising right now. This is pretty much what my exercise is of a day, sitting here in front of this computer for the day job, for the evening job. Michael, ahoy, hoy.
Good evening, Michael.
Let's see. I'm on the not so special water today.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just water.
I'm on the raspberry Pepsi Max.
Oh, right. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I don't think I've tried raspberry.
It's quite nice. But once that can's finished, it'll be back onto the caffeine-free stuff. I've got to wean myself off of this caffeinated drink.
Pete's saying he's working today and tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. So I'm on strike on Thursday. So I'm off on.
Nice.
Oh yeah, without pay, but that's all part and parcel. Day peeps.
Evening peeps.
Yep. Hopefully this earlier hour kind of suits everybody. The only thing is, it's going to be tougher to get started when the Team Dark live streams, but you never know. It's the odd day.
He could still turn up.
He could still turn up.
Know.
We are going to be doing more of ranking shows. So probably at least one a month now, and I'll get the three of us together to do those. I went crazy. I showed them off in the last show. I went crazy setting up all these shows, kind of keeping buffers of weeks between them in case we wanted to move them. And then I added a few ranking shows to the schedule as well. I don't know if you've seen them.
Oh yes, I saw those, and I saw some of the upcoming. Team Dark.
Next month we're going to be ranking Jean-Claude Van Damme's movies. See how many of those we want to hit with a shovel, and how many of those are classics. Some days I feel that way right now, Michael. Exactly. Yes. I look in the mirror and I'm amazed I'm moving. But so we've got that coming up. So the three of us will do that, and we need you guys in the chat for that, because that's what makes that show.
Hell yes.
Then we're doing, because we always seem to touch on filming, and we always seem to have a connection with filming and stuff. That we talk about either Tim Thomerson connection. He's in Trancers. He turns up in Nemesis, the Payun movies. He turns up all over the place. So we're going to do a ranking of Full Moon. Not all the full moon movies, of course, because there's just too many of them. So we might even just rank some series together, in that one. But that's the month later. We're going to do that. So keep your eye out. Thursday nights is going to kind of. It's me and Startle have got loads of stuff sorted with Comic Book Gold and we have the movies, but we're going to be entering the ranking world now as well, and doing a bit more of that.
Hell yeah!
Breakdance. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned breakdance there, because I think we'll do canon at some point in this.
Oh, we have to.
I think the fourth one might well be canon. Yeah, it's just kind of. Everything kind of blends together. Van Damme, Albert Payun, Van Damme, full moon movies, kinda, and then canon. So I think that's the way we'll go. So we will be. But I need to get a bit fitter for that if I'm going to do any breakdancing. That's for sure. But I'm going to have to watch Superman 4 before Thursday. So
don't envy you.
Yeah,
don't envy you one little bit, but I say that, but I know at some point I will have to rewatch it because it's been that fucking long. So.
No, and unless you're doing a show on the YouTubes, there's no reason to watch it. Seriously, isn't there? No reason to watch it. Yeah, there is. It's like some or a triangle, some kind of like straight to video triangle. Yeah, so. I'm just going to, just before we get started, let a few more people kind of hopefully can come and join us. I'll quickly show you that we have things that we work on outside of here, as you know.
Yes.
But, is there anything much happening here with...
we've hit the second stretch goal.
Yes. So what do we get?
Which is awesome. So we've got a patch, a bookmark, and a pin badge. The pin badges should be turning up anytime soon. So if we can get to the third stretch goal, which would be nice, we can add temporary tattoos to that. And soon I'm going to unlock the fourth stretch goal. And hopefully we can hit that one too. But yeah, work on this it's been good, but there's been quite a few other things to juggle, but it's still been progressing really well. There was one page that I did recently that I was like, oh yeah, I think this might actually be my favorite page of the book. And I haven't shown it off to anyone, so it'll be a nice little surprise. But yeah, so far going really well.
Excellent. Good to hear. I'm still. This isn't budging, but that's fine. It's done its job. It's line to 73, but I'd like it to budge a wee bit because, I do know somebody's been in touch with me and saying that they're going to be going for a fear box. They're saving up the pennies for the fear box, so I know that's coming again at some point. But I'm just desperate to get to this stretch goal. Now, I might take these out now that they're all going. I probably should, and move this up near the top so everybody can see it, because I'm desperate to get to this one so we can all get a Startle. It's a dark print.
Yes, it's needed.
Yeah, don't care about anybody else. I just want one myself. But so it's getting there. It's like I always say, it looks like, what am I getting for all this? You're getting tons. Right now you're getting tons for it, because you've got the Tatty Bogleman print, you've got the little kind of like collector's card, baseball card type thing, but we will get to Startle's print, so it's all beginning to kind of like come together for all the extras that people are going to get for just backing. And if you can get on this, please do.
Yes.
This is going to rocket off in July, and it's going to be in your hands by Halloween. That's the plan. Okay? Nice. Yeah, that's the plan for this. And then I'm going to hibernate for 3 months afterwards. So please get your name on there if you haven't already. You might think you've got your name on there, but get your name on there if you haven't already. And all the shares for this are, of course, greatly appreciated. There you go. That's what we're doing when we're not doing this. The Startle. What's he saying?
Oh, hello. What was he said?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I quite like that idea, actually.
As I like to call them, the good superhero movies. Yeah. Oh, controversial. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I saw that on Twitter, but as you guys know, I've been kind of staying away from Twitter. I just jump in every now and then when I put a kind of promotional tweet out. I just check my notifications to see if anybody's been in touch. And I saw that, so I don't know. I'm going to wait until Thursday night to find out how to take that. Like, I've got a lot to say about that movie. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say tonight.
You have to wait till Thursday to find out.
Yeah. It should be fun. It's worth sitting through 1, 2, and 3 to get to 4. Just for what we're going to be talking about, I think. The Team Dark Triad. Yes, peeps. That sounds good. I like that.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. We could call ourselves that if we do a Chuck Norris one. Because we could start with the Octagon, you know. So it has that kind of feel to it with the Octagon. Or even with, I'm getting other ideas now for things. I'll keep my mouth shut. Hey, Jake.
Evening, Jake. How the devil art thou?
Did you wave your hand? And whoever's out there on Twitch, I know there's somebody out there. I'll find out one of these days. It's just one of these guys just trolling me by watching on Twitch at the same time.
Like I said, when the apocalypse is over and we do conventions again, someone's going to come up to you and be like, do you recognize me? I'm that one person from Twitch. Can you sign my book made of human skin?
For that one person and everybody else, I'm going to. I know you've got your precepts sitting beside you. Yes. So we're going to have a look. But I made a purchase, so I'm going to big myself up and show everybody my purchase.
Oh. Or
I'm going to leave the stream.
You can pick me up.
I'm going to leave the stream because my monitor's that dark I can't see what I'm clicking on. See, I did this. But I meant to do this.
Oh, what you got there? Yes! Fucking yes! That's awesome.
Yep, isn't it just? It's the two... It's the Max Havoc double bill on Blu-ray, direct from Germany.
Oh,
do you want to guess how much I spent for that?
I'm gonna guess at around £18.
Oh, chat! What have you got on £18 for this Blu-ray? Masterpiece double bill, last one in stock.
Last one as well.
All the way from Germany.
Ooh.
Yep, Pete wins. He's closest. £1.71.
No.
£1.71. Including postage.
that is fucking.
No, the postage was I think £1.20 or something. So yeah, that was a bit. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much spot on with that. Exactly €2. That's exactly what at £1.71. That's €2. Rip off as not. It's both movies. No, actually, I need to Google one of them here because I'm not going to specs on. I can't read his name. I don't want to be done for saying the wrong name. What have I Googled? No, I'm Googling. There's everything is connected because I'm Googling. Right. Everything is actually connected. I think the second one of these is directed by a guy called Isaac Florentine, or he co-directed it. Right.
Oh, right.
Now we were talking about how the fight scenes looked half decent in the first movie.
Yes.
That's why, because Isaac Florentine has directed some of Van Damme's best, most recent movies. Because he's a really good action director, kind of stuntman kind of guy. So this was worth getting for that alone because it has that connection for me. So that's pretty good. So he's a Israeli film director, but he films action scenes old school without all the kind of like terrible
Shaky
jittery
cam.
camera stuff and shaky
Yeah.
cam, and he knows what he's doing. So the fight scenes, I think, especially in the second one, are going to be pretty good if he's involved in putting the movie together. Everything else is just going to be an added bonus. And I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it at that. But Isaac Florentine, I can never remember his name, but the first movie I saw that he directed was The Shepherd. It was a Van Damme film called The Shepherd, which was pretty good. Straight to video kind of Van Damme movie. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Controversy. It's either bargain of the century or a rip-off. Rob saw. Yes, somebody's going to go on there. They probably had it on their wish list and it's now going.
Yes, and they'd be like, no.
If you've purchased a movie that is lower than the worst box office of all time, you've won life.
Yes, Jake knows exactly what he's talking about.
Totally, but that's in this day and age with streaming and sequels and stuff. That's the kind of stuff you get excited about. Finding a gem like that.
Hell yes.
Have you checked it has an English language? No, the dialogue really matters. It does. It has English on the trailer, so I'm guessing it's probably got it in the movie as well.
Fingers crossed.
I'm not that bothered, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure it's got English on it as well. Most German Blu-rays do, which is what's good about them.
Yeah, but you do get the odd one that fucks you over. Like I had many years ago, I think it was from XT Video. It was a release of Bad Taste, the Peter Jackson movie. And what really annoyed me is there was like a half-hour special feature called Good Taste Makes Bad Taste, English audio. The trailer, English audio. The movie, no English audio. It was all German. That's not good. Yeah, it's usually the other way. It's usually you'll get it and it'll have all these fantastic extras, but they're not. They're in German, and even the English-speaking people in the documentaries are dubbed into German. Because I've got loads of spaghetti westerns that I purchased from Germany because they just have such a good collection of westerns on Blu-ray over there, and that's usually the case. So you can end up the film pristine, fantastic print in English, but all the extras are in German, which is quite annoying. But at least you get the movie, that's the main thing. Exactly, that is the main thing.
What's this here? I might well do that after the lockdown. That's it. I've just got a whole herd of people in here. Get a crate of booze in, and then do that. We'll watch both Max Havoc movies.
Yes. Yes, because you would often, like at the beginning of like the Video Nasty List and all that, you would often get like video dealers and video collectors. They would travel over to places like the Netherlands, Germany, and all that. Buy the band stuff and then take out the reels and put the reels in their pockets and go back. Yeah, so
keeps making German language jokes. Yeah, I remember most of the Hong Kong movies that I got were like they had the original Hong Kong subtitles on them, so the English on them was incomprehensible the best of times, but if anything was light behind them, they would just disappear into the background. So if it was Mandarin language, you'd have like the Cantonese subtitles with the English subtitles above them. I think most of them weren't they?
A lot of the Cat 3 movies had that issue.
Yeah, and so you'd be watching it and then you'd have this dialogue scene in a white room.
Yes.
You're just like, no chance of following this. No idea what this movie's about. But luckily, they're going to start killing each other in a couple of seconds, so that's why you're watching it. Anybody used Chainsaw Video in Holland?
Oh my god, I remember Chainsaw Video.
No, it rings a bit. I never used it.
No, I don't think I ever used it. I think that was a bit before I really knew about the Video Nasties. Bear in mind, I was born just as the Video Nasties thing was kicking off.
Yeah, no, I had a direct supply at the bottom of a road near my school. I had it was kind of like I had a direct supply to all video nasties and anything that I wanted.
Sweet.
Fidgets and cheer. It's like, see, we've got you need to watch what you're saying in Scotland. You get arrested for raiding these days.
I better keep my fucking mouth closed then. I don't want them coming to pick you up because of something that I fucking said.
He watched The Evil Dead back when it was banned. Arrest him. Yeah, no, yeah, you kind of missed it. Well, I say you kind of miss it. We'll be back there in about 5 or 6 years' time. Just you wait, guys, or less. There'll be something out there. They'll be banning and stuff that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, bear in mind, I think it was around 2000 and I want to say 2007, but it might be a bit later than that. The BBFC, they banned like a bunch of movies, including The Bunny Game and Murder Set Pieces. And I remember reading about it, like on my PC, like this news article came up, like BBFC finally banned something after so many years of not banning anything. They banned The Bunny Game and Murder Set Pieces. And then I looked at my shelves and I was like, well, I've got The Bunny Game there and I've got Murder Set Pieces down there. I've also got the director's cut of Murder Set Pieces. So too late, BBFC.
Yeah, I'm just going to share this because this month's Darkside Magazine's got a fantastic Dracula AD 1972 cover, I believe. It looks great. I'm going to have to get that. And Peep's talking to himself. Yeah. That's happened to me as well, because you type in the start of it and then you just hit enter and it chooses the one that's underneath. That's happened to me as well. If I could resist that. Okay, right, let's do this because I do believe we've got Stato in the chat and he's going to be joining us once we've got past all the nasty stuff.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Right, sit tight, Stato. We'll see you real soon.
So let's get nasty, as they say.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I thought I had planned it tonight. I was going to do a kind of like a. This is what the DPP list was, and all that kind of stuff, and get into the history of. I think that deserves us to do that just on its own. I think most people kind of know anyway, and I've now got a spinning video of the Daily Mail coming up with video nasties whenever I do the video. You know, we've noticed that on the last one. Which is doing well. That's doing well. People are actually watching it.
Like so 78 views or something last time I checked. Maybe even like 87, 78, one of the ways. Right?
Yeah, we're jumping up from the 20s to 30s to the 70s and 80s now and stuff like that. That's good. We're nearly. I mean, that's what we're wanting. 70s and 80s. That's me. I'll retire on that.
We don't want to go any higher.
Oh no. Don't anyone else in the chat, just you guys. Everyone else, it's just us.
Evening, Adams.
Good evening, Adams. You're just in time. We're just about to talk about. I'll have if you wonder now why I do this, sometimes I'm going to just kind of go and pause for a second. Just when I edit these wee videos together that I'm doing now, it makes it a lot easier. If I edit in my head. Yeah, I'm kind of like, who does that? What's a film director that does that? I'm sure there's some that kind of your old school guys used to do that. I don't know if there's many modern ones that do it. You know, but they're kind of in their head when they go out there. But, right, so Tenebrae.
Yes.
Yes. So I do believe with Tenebrae that you have got something to show everybody this evening.
Yes, I do. It happens to be this bad boy, an original pre-cert of Tenebrae, which is absolutely lovely. I picked this up for about £10, so dirt cheap. I was a bit put off at first because of this 18 certificate on the spine, but that was actually printed on there before the whole Video Nasties thing kicked off. So this is an original pre-cert. However, if I remember correctly, unfortunately it is aging badly VHS do. So I've got to give this one a little bit of a clean with some isopropyl alcohol, but it's just a lovely little preset, and it's one of the easier ones to pick up. Like I said, you can pick it up for about 10 quid from eBay. Every now and then you're going to find someone who tries to try and get like 20, 25 quid for it, but most of the time you can pick it up for about a tenner, and it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I often wonder, is that my old copy?
It could be.
But in this case, I don't think it does, because my old copy had one of those stickers at the side where what they would do is they would put in a wee kind of tab, with a number on it. And you would take the tab up rather than the actual video cover to get the video.
Right.
So the extra rental that I bought had that stuck to it. So when I took it off and cleaned it, you could still see where that was. Where that had been stuck on it.
Yeah.
So that's if I was to ever see it sitting at a convention, I would know, well, that's either mine or it's come from the same place I got mine. I'm not quite sure how to take that. And also, yes, you've got me thinking about that as well. That's something for the chat to work out. Yeah,
it is possible because if I remember correctly, one of the alternate titles for Tenebrae was Unsane, and since the release of the movie, there have been two bands who one of them called themselves Unsane. There was another band that did a song called Unsane, and apparently both of them were inspired by Tenebrae. And I believe there is also a metal band called Tenebrae.
Tenebrae, yeah. Tenebrae means darkness.
Yeah.
Which is odd, because this is probably his brightest movie, I think.
Yeah.
Or at that time, anyway. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So we're talking about Tenebrae, which is directed by Dario Argento, who is Italy's, they called him like Italy's answer to Hitchcock, or that kind of thing, Brian De Palma, but he's very much his own thing, his own director. And
he's often considered to be like the grandfather of the Giallo movie as well, even though some kind of, they argue about that. Was it Argento or was it Mario Bava?
It was Mario Bava. But we'll not argue about that.
Oh, yeah, I think so. But you still get the odd person who does argue.
that could be another show. But I'm glad you agree with me. There's no argument. It was Mario Bava. And absolutely. Again, you could argue that he wasn't, but he was a person that created the style of the Giallo. He perfected the style.
Yeah, Mario Bava, he was the creator of Giallo. Then Dario Argento came along and mastered the Giallo. It took him a bit of time, but he fucking mastered it.
He did. He took it all the way.
Yes.
Hello, Kim. Thanks for joining us, Kim.
Like that.
And so, this movie is a Giallo. Giallos, to explain them to people, they are, if you can imagine a whodunit, a kind of like a typical Agatha Christie whodunit with very much gothic murders within it that are stylistically created to both repulse and excite the viewer. I think that would be my description of what a Giallo is, basically what a Giallo is.
Okay, so I would describe it as a horror version of Columbo.
A horror version of Columbo. That's similar. I think. Yeah, I think we're both. We'll leave that for another show where we argue whether is it Christie, is it Columbo?
It's probably more Christie than it is Columbo, but most people know Columbo, don't they?
It probably is. And hi, Mary.
Even.
That's my sister. So, essentially, it's a whodunit at heart.
Yeah.
But the majority of Giallos that people watch over and over again are defined not so much by the whodunit aspect, but by the atmosphere and by the murders, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a latter day Giallo by Dario Argento, who was returning to the genre, and it was a legitimate video nasty? Where was it situated in the hierarchy? It was actually prosecuted, wasn't it?
As far as I know, it was
seized
on the DPP 39. It was seized, and whether it was successfully prosecuted or not, I really couldn't tell you. But it was on that main list of 39 titles, and like we've said before, with a lot of titles, that was based on the cover art. So Driller Killer was prosecuted mainly because of its cover art. Tenebrae had problems with both its cover art and the contents of the movie. Yeah. So it was one of those rare exceptions where they were like, okay, we don't like the cover art because as we can show you on this preset, this is the original cover art, and you can see that there's the blood dripping from this lady's neck. So when it eventually did get released in a cut version later on VHS, they changed the blood for a red ribbon, because they found that to be non-offensive and non-obscene. That was their main issue with the cover. But with the movie, it was simply the amount of kills that were in the movie, because if I remember correctly, Tenebrae has the most kills in any Dario Argento movie.
Yeah, and they're all fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like it's People Circus says here in the chat, classic killers with black leather gloves and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it all starts here. The idea, you see the glove, you see the killer's glove, which oftentimes can hide the hand of a woman or a man. Yeah. So the killer is often concealed, even occasionally wears a mask, always tends to have a hat, that kind of stuff. The thing about that poster, to come back to that, is by adding the actual band around the neck, they kind of fetishize the body, and it makes it slightly creepier. So what they did was, they made it. I thought they made it. I kind of quite like it with the ribbon on it. It kind of, you think this is a really forbidden, weird horror movie.
Yes, it certainly gives it it makes it feel like it's going to be a more sexualized movie.
It does, and it's not that at all, really.
No.
I'm going to say hello to Happy Jam Jam.
Evening, Happy.
And to, I moved quick in the chat, Crimson Owl Comics. Hello there. I'm not saying that out loud. So we have, I might later, after I've had a wee drink, and start singing. So we have a giallo. Now, Dario Argento had a couple of films that were on the banned list in various different tiers. Inferno was on one, but wasn't in the top tier one, I don't think. Have you got a copy there of Inferno?
Yes. This is Inferno, which was also on the Video Nasties list, and you don't get to Tenebrae without Inferno. Inferno plays a very important part in Tenebrae's existence. Oh yes. Shall I go through the story?
That does actually look like my old copy of that one. It really does look like. But I guess it's a video. It's a video cassette.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a story. Tell us how Inferno leads to Tenebrae.
Okay, well, in order to tell that, we have to go back to 1977, because Suspiria was released in 1977, and it did gangbusters. People absolutely adored it. And of course, Suspiria was the first entry into a trilogy that Dario Argento was making called the Three Mothers Trilogy. He did so well with Suspiria that 20th Century Fox got in touch with him and was like, we want part in your next movie. And he wanted the next movie to be the second part in the Three Mothers Trilogy, which of course was Inferno. So his plan was to write Inferno, make Inferno, release Inferno, and then get to work on the third part of the Three Mothers Trilogy. However, whilst he was writing Inferno, he became quite ill. He had some serious health issues. He thought that he could get over them by the time filming started, but he didn't. So he took those health issues with him onto set whilst making Inferno. But he thought, it's okay, we've got 20th Century Fox behind this. They can help really push the marketing and everything. People will love this as much as Suspiria. And then all of a sudden, Inferno flopped. And 20th Century Fox were like, we've made a bit of a mistake with this one. And Dario Argento was clearly quite heartbroken about this. So he decided to put the third entry of his Three Mothers trilogy on hold. And during that time, he was thinking about what he should make next. And he ended up having this crazy fan find his phone number and get in touch with him. And this fan started off quite nice, going, "Oh my God, you're Dario Argento. You made my favorite movie ever, Suspiria. I love it." But after a while, this fan was calling him all the time. And it started getting worse and worse, to the point where the fan was like, "I want to hurt you. That's how I want to show my appreciation, because your movie, Suspiria, was so damn good that it's ruined my life. So I want to show my appreciation by ruining your life." So he got in touch with some people and was like, "Okay, I need to move to like a different part of the country," because he was still in the US at this point, hoping that he could, regain some trust from 20th Century Fox. So he moved pretty much to the other side of America. And during that time, at first, he was like, "Okay, I'm safe here now." But that same fan found his new phone number where he was living and started getting in touch with him. So he ended up going all the way back to Italy. And when he got there, he started, I think it was, he had like a stop off, a layover on the way there. So he had to spend some time in another country or another part of the US. And he was in a hotel, desperate to get back to Italy. And during that time, there was a Japanese vacationer who was staying at the same hotel who was shot dead in the lobby whilst he was there. These two things really freaked him out, and he thought it was kind of like part of a curse to do with Inferno and everything. That's why the Three Mothers trilogy was left for so damn long before he finished it. And of course, he also, throughout his whole career, he had accusations of him being a misogynist, a sexist, a pervert, and so much more. So he wrapped all of that stuff up to make Tenebrae. All of that stuff came together and it inspired him to make Tenebrae and be like, "Well, I want to do something about these crazy fans. I want to do something about when you put a piece of work out there that you're proud of, it's kind of a curse and a blessing at the same time." And that's how the idea for the story came to be.
Excellent. Well described. That's a whole background there. I don't know if you noticed that when I brought that up there, but Adams was wondering.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope not. It could be. It could be. I'll have to phone Dario and find out. I'm sure I've got his new number somewhere.
Needed Argento help. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But it ties in. It ties in very well with the movie when you watch it, when you know that too, because this is one of those films where now I don't always like to look at the art and connect it to the artist. I don't think that's always the case, that there is a connection there, that it is deeper and that everything's autobiographical. But there's an obvious connection with the character, the author in the movie.
Absolutely.
And with Dario Argento. Especially if you know that story going into it. It's obviously there. And this is very much a movie that I would recommend people watch, not because it was on a video nasties list. It's actually, there's no way it should ever have been on any kind of list to do with anything, because it's a quality, classy, well-made, exciting movie. So that's why you should watch it. So let's have a quick, I've got the names up here because you know me with Italian names. There's John Saxon. It's the first name that comes up. It's got terrific kind of cult movie credentials because, again, John Saxon is in there. And he's in Tenebrae, he's in Enter the Dragon, he's in Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, a Cannibal Apocalypse. He runs a gamut from big budget, classy movies to complete trash that we love as well. It's got a soundtrack by 3 members of Goblin, so they couldn't call themselves Goblin because it wasn't the full collection of members. Again, it's a terrific soundtrack. Goblin and Dario Argento just made the best kind of like pictures and sounds together back in the early 70s, and this is like 1981, 82. This was made, wasn't it? So
82,
even in 82, so even into the 80s, highly influential on what Hollywood did later on, or tried to later on, and even today it stands up. It's just been attach your senses in a way that other filmmakers and composers don't. I think it's applicable to, if you think about Leone and Morricone working together on the spaghetti westerns. It's a similar thing. It's that kind of synergy between the music and between the visuals. Strangely, in later films, he went more towards using like heavy metal tracks and stuff like that as well, which is okay, but it just worked better when he had these guys just totally in control and just in charge of everything. So the movie, I don't think we should really go into the plot that much because it's worth watching.
Yes, it is worth watching, and it's not a traditional narrative. It's not the typical sort of narrative or plot structure that you would see in mainstream cinema. It does its own thing entirely, but it still works so well. The plot just has such smooth pacing to it.
It pays homage to detective fiction, I think, in a big way.
Big time.
More so than his previous movies. Maybe his first few giallos that he made. But it has this whole kind of concept that no matter how well planned everything is, coincidence will eventually get in the way. And things just happen, and you can't really stop them happening. So we can start talking about some set pieces and some things in it. There's a sequence where one of the female characters has been chased by a dog, which is scary big hound chasing her. She escapes from it, and she manages to get to this house, and there's a key in the door, and she manages to get inside this house, and she thinks she's safe. It's already been set up that it's the killer's house, and he's just accidentally left his keys in the door. So it's one of these things where it's like it's a stupid coincidence. But it's set up in this kind of movie. It's suddenly everything changes at that point in the movie because she's in deep trouble. He realizes he's out there looking for a victim. Because you see the close-ups of gloved hand. Realizes he's left the keys, goes back for them. And what he does is he sets up an entire scene that's based around a coincidence and a mistake at the same time, and it's just brilliantly done. It's just the whole thing's orchestrated visually, and it sets you off thinking about various things to do with how does coincidence work in these kind of plots, because these plots are intrinsically ridiculous, and you have to buy into the fact that they're ridiculous in order to kind of enjoy the movie. I think that's the one scene that always stood out for me that kind of like perfectly does it, because you can understand that because you've left the keys in the door before. It's the kind of thing. It's the kind of thing everyone's done, and so suddenly it's that normality that kind of fits in with this movie.
It's one of those things that if they did that in a mainstream movie or like a mainstream horror movie where a character accidentally leaves their keys in the door, the audience would roll their eyes and be like, "Oh God, this is lazy." But because it's Argento and it's not your mainstream cinema, it works. He has a very artistic flair with his movies, so it just kind of works. There's something where he manages to kind of give you this obviously fictional world, but there's a lot of it that's grounded in reality, so you can buy little coincidences like a killer leaving his keys in the door, walking off, and then going, "Oh no, I've done it again, haven't I?"
It's like, I think Pete Polk Circus mentions here's like a Carpenter, A Window in Time, where they made fantastic films that are of their time but timeless. And I think that scene that I was talking about there specific, because the poor lassie's done. She's in the killer's house. The killer's, and it's a very kind of modernistic. Everything in this is chic. It's like Vogue chic for 1982. It's brightly lit, and it's kind of classy, and the women are made up to the point of being like almost like Vogue cover girls whenever you see them. But they're all really attractive characters, just physically attractive, but you actually you like the characters in this. So when it comes to the scene where you know somebody's going to die, you kind of don't want to see them die. And again, that goes against the grain for most giallos, because you're wanting to see the killing, because it's a set piece, and it's like an action scene in a Bond movie. They've set it up, and here comes the killing. In this film, you feel, I kind of hope they get away here. That at least I did. Every time I watch it, I feel that way.
No, I'm with you on that one, and I think that's part of the reason why this is both considered the last giallo movie to ever be made, but the first neo-giallo movie to ever be made.
Yeah. I just to get back to what Paul Circus, I think, was alluding to there, and what I was kind of long-windedly trying to allude to, it's this idea that somebody like Carpenter and Argento and Hitchcock use a subjective camera, and it's very much it's an artifice. It's not a human eye. But that's the scene everybody talks about and mentions as far as that's shot. Spoiler, we'll spoil that scene for you, but we won't spoil the movie. It's not the best scene in the movie either. It's probably technically the most impressive, and I think you could probably spend forever if you want to be pretentious and start talking about the juxtaposing, subjective and objective and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not had enough to drink to go that deeply into pretentiousness. I'm just drinking normal water tonight.
Nice.
That's again True Detective. Yeah, they take them on. He takes them on for a long time.
Another example is James Wan's Death Sentence, when Kevin Bacon's being chased through the multi-story car park. That's one camera that's weaving in and out of the different levels of the multi-story car park, but it's all one continuous shot. And it makes you wonder, like, would he have done that without the existence of Tenebrae? Because something tells me James Wan is the kind of filmmaker that loves the old school exploitation and giallo cinema.
I think you're right. I think Peeps points out there's a similar kind of long shot in opera as well, which is really good. And he's wondering about Saul Bass' influence. That's an interesting one. I don't know so much Saul Bass on this. I think Hitchcock probably was more of an influence, because you think about Rope. So the movie where he tries to do the whole movie as a single take, which you couldn't do because you had to change the reels back in the day. So it was a bunch of single takes put together.
And if I remember correctly, Dario Argento did a TV movie called Do You Like Hitchcock?
He did. Yes.
So I think Hitchcock was a clear influence on him, because bear in mind, technically his first movie was The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, even though he did make a couple of movies before that. But the real one where he solidified his style and started to go down the path of becoming a master of giallo was The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. That was 1969. Hitchcock had already done a ton of movies by then, and I'm pretty sure that Argento probably watched all of them several times over.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. But unlike other directors, he didn't slavishly copy Hitchcock. Brian as much as a lot.
What probably sparked the interest to have it on the list was the cover, but there are reports that it was because of a lot of the killings within the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the ending that I will not talk about because
it's fantastic. You guys, just watch this movie. We're going to talk about it. We'll edit this down to a wee, but watch the movie.
That ending, I'm sure, plays a big part in it as well.
Yeah. I would say that this is a fantastic movie. This is probably, if you were to pick the top 3 Argento movies, this would be in my top 3 Argento movies.
Easily.
Depending on how I feel, it could be the number 2 spot. Suspiria is always going to be number 1. That's just the way it works, guys. So for that alone, it's a terrific movie. It's interesting as a video nasty, because it should never be lumped in with some of the movies that were in. The majority of the movies were trash. Should never have been banned, but this was not in any way trash. So,
absolutely.
I think that's us on Tenebrae. Is there anything that we want to kind of talk about this movie that we may have missed? I mean, there's loads. We could do hours just talking about this, but
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's the woman in the dream sequence that we haven't really touched upon, because that kind of shows
the woman in the dream sequence. That again, that's another aspect of it that could very well be a reason why it was one of the ones that they would ban.
Yeah.
So it's what looks like a typical slasher misogynistic type sequence on the surface, but it's not that at all.
No.
And the woman in the dream sequence, she's been attacked by these guys, and she fights back, and it's very stylized and grueling sequence to watch. But the actress was a trans woman.
Yeah. As far as I don't know if she was the first trans actress out there or not, but one of the earliest trans actresses. Yeah.
So in that part, which was no accident, I don't think, because he's actively making reference to all the criticism that it had before, as you were mentioning. So there's no accident that he did that for that particular scene.
No, it was very deliberate. The same as when Peter Neal's being interviewed by his friend, and when he first sees her, she's all very nicey to him, and then the interview begins, and she starts saying things like, "You're a misogynist. This is violence against women," and Peter Neal's very kind of like, "Hold on, we're friends. Where the hell does this come from? Where are what are the bases for your accusations?" And then, of course, we later on see the kind of relationship that reporter is in. So there's a lot of Argento not necessarily attacking the criticisms that he's been receiving, but kind of putting out his confusion. He's using Peter Neal as his like voice to say, like, "I don't get it. What are you guys on to believe that? Have you actually looked at the details of my movies?"
Yep, exactly. Yeah. James Franciscus is Dario Argento. Okay, on that, that's us. Another video nasty.
Yes.
Number 3 on our list. Again, prosecuted, proper video nasty. Lock up your dogs.
Oh, yes. We don't want the dogs going psycho.
We definitely don't. And we will be back with another installment in the near future.
Oh, yes.
We're not sure what that one is yet, are we? But we will be.
Oh, I know, because I saw the thumbnail.
Oh, right. I can't remember. Oh, God.
The New York Ripper.
What is it? Oh, so it is. Ah, right. Right. It's for the editing. So that's us with Ted. Right. The editing will be seamless. Right. You all got to turn up the premiere, and the editing will be seamless. So we will be back with another video nasty, and that video nasty is Mr. Storm.
The New York Ripper.
Indeed. One of the nastiest of all the nasties. And we're returning to Mr. Zombie Flesh Eaters himself, which you'll feel you for that one. So coming soon to this channel. There you go. That was seamless. Right, so it turns out there's a cheese called Sargento. And on that note, let us introduce Mr. Statistical Zero.
Hi, everybody.
Stato!
Hey there.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man.
Doing good.
Yourself?
Great.
Oh, I'm going to let my hair down there. There we go. Look at that.
I feel like this avatar maybe isn't quite befitting of my small ego. You just switch that up. Perfect.
You've been fourth worlding it. I see that, haven't you? You've been diving deep into the fourth world these days. I'm going to big that up.
I just ordered New Gods and
kick you.
I just ordered New Gods and Mr. Miracle. I have the Forever People in a black and white print,
nice.
but I do love that pillar of DC.
Yep.
Wonderful stuff.
I've got all the originals. I'm not in good nick because they're my originals, but occasionally I take one out and the paper starts to flake, you know.
I'll properly fit in.
Oh, but it's so good.
That's it. Very British.
Yeah. That was a very tame video nasty tonight. You know, you would have been okay if you joined us.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it would be a situation where I would bring nothing to whatever you're saying.
Fair enough.
You're like, right, yeah, that's the stuff with the lights and yeah, witches. Yeah, gotcha. Jello. It's got. So there were no Giallo movies like centered around Cosby. Come on in there, I'm gonna get you.
Oh no!
I'm a witch, and you didn't know it the whole time.
Cosby. Oh dear. Oh, thanks.
There's
Thanks for the show. Don't go anywhere, Jake. Don't go anywhere. That's the way we do things. There's still more. We spend half an hour.
I'm the after party
in order to make a 10-minute show later on. What is that? Wullie pins YouTube 8 years in advance. We've got this whole cutting down episodes in the bag.
It's good.
Yeah, you'll notice I didn't even bother to hide the edits in that second one. You just see we call it that every now and then as I just try to do a quick edit.
Now you made a demand. Jake says now you made a demand to a thing that I never thought I needed. I have no idea what I
said. What is happening?
It's all gone off.
I don't know. I don't even listen to myself when I talk anymore. It's better that way, I think.
But you hear earlier when I showed everybody my Blu-ray.
I was listening when I was driving home.
Yeah,
so I mean,
gorgeous, isn't it?
Max Havoc.
Yeah, both movies.
Both of them. Nice.
For them on one disc.
Oh, even better.
I was kind of hoping for two, but that would have meant that they would have had a release of both movies, and that just was not happening, was it?
It would also mean that it was true high definition and not a DVD rip that's been upscaled.
I know. No, I'm holding out hopes because it looks like a proper company. You can usually tell when you get like the German DVDs whether it's a proper company and distributor or some guy with a burner and he's just making them.
If something's spelled wrong on the front, you can usually tell Max Havoc with a K.
Yeah, but it's in German, so it might be right.
You'd be surprised, Germany. When I was there for a convention back in 2013, I did a lot of going to the stores to check out what Blu-rays they had. There was one store we went into, it had a whole fucking floor of just Blu-rays, and there was so much stuff there that I was like, shit, half of this stuff hasn't even been released on DVD in the UK. How come have they got it? And I would say about 80% of it are companies where it's some guy in his shed with a DVD burner going, quick, get as many copies of these out as possible. Best Buy can sell them for like €2 a piece.
Yep, I think that's very much the way it works. It's interesting. It looks like Dean Cain is a bad guy in the second movie.
What? That's not a Hallmark movie by any chance, is it?
Well, that's what I'm wondering,
That's where he spends a lot of his time these days.
So, yeah, but he managed to make a wee bit of time to make a... They've got all the cast lumped in together as if it's one big movie. So you've got...
Way to do
it. So it's like Dean Cain and Carmen Electra and David Carradine all in the same movie, but they're not.
David Carradine? Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he's in the first one. He's the bad guy in the first one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I forgot about that trailer, but I haven't. Hey, when are we going to get to the point where we actually get to rank our shows? Bring all your thumbnails in and just be like, that one sucked.
The thumbnails are the best thing about the shows, man.
We could title it Meta In It.
Meta In It. Yeah, I don't know. We could do that anytime. We could do that now. We could just pull it up and look at them.
Let's do it.
I guarantee no one else has done it.
We can even rank the shows that we haven't even done yet.
Oh, that's great. That one when you shot the firework off in the house. Shoot! That was amazing. I wish people could have seen it, but the file got corrupted.
Right. Share. I was getting mixed up earlier because I had to share that video file because it was too big to upload into StreamYards. It was worth it though, wasn't it?
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes.
Right.
Oh,
look, we're live just now. This is what we were going to do before we didn't do it, wasn't it? We were going to watch ourselves.
Watch ourselves live. Oh my god.
There's us reviewing the thumbnails. This is an infinite thing now, isn't it?
Oh shit.
Right.
This is going to be crazy.
Us watching us. And how far does it go?
There seems to be. There we go. It's like a 10-second lag.
Wow.
I
could just sit and watch that. Now this is like some kaleidoscope of terror.
Different dimensions. This is an infinite crisis for us.
Yeah, look at that Ty Hogan, man. He just keeps going and keeps going. Well, there's a Kosh. I haven't even introduced him to anybody, and there he is, full on, running all the way like the Flash.
It's like when you take a mirror and look into a mirror and yourself.
He's trying to run away from the infinity sequence that's slowly happening. Like, what you need to do... What you need to do is like clip this out and then repeat it over for like an hour and just have like a weird white noise soundtrack just to spook people out.
How far is this
actually, yeah, okay. If we just all go to Avatar, then just go to Avatars, guys, and then.
How far has the show fallen where this is our entertainment? It's like Googling.
Fallen, mate, it's risen.
Yep, this is it. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to create an infinite loop. I need to wait until our avatars are off on screen as well. Look at that, because it keeps turning off incrementally on screen as we go in. Fantastic.
And then you just need that weird rumbly.
Yeah.
It will be like
it's like a 10-second delay on each one.
The Infinity Bogle.
Oh, now that one's going to show up every 10 seconds going down the line.
I know. Let's see. Here we go. The Infinity Bogle, man.
Okay, Stato, now you need to change your avatar. Watch it change down the line.
The
I did that once. Yeah. There it is.
Wait for it.
Yep.
Boom, there we go.
Wow.
This is like
just waiting for that.
This is strangely hypnotic, especially when the chat moves up slightly and then it.
Yeah,
my avatar could shake his head. It would be.
Wow. Right. Well, that is. Yeah, that's enough of that. That was worth doing, though. In a strange way.
And we didn't break the internet whilst doing it.
We didn't.
We're officially scientists.
We are. We've gone into the infinite. We have genuinely gone into the two-dimensional infinite.
What we came back with.
Oh. Right. Look, that we're up to 95 views on that one. Last week's absurd. Sweet. So we've got to get Tenebrae up.
I'll have you know, I put my scientist hat on and watched Superman 4. I do have a lot to say about that.
Oh God, no!
You can't say anything about it now, man. You got to save it for Thursday.
Well, I'll tell you what. Spoiler alert. I'm going to look for as much positive as I can find in that movie because it's just low-hanging fruit at this point.
Oh, I'm going to return to. I remember watching it in the cinema and just feeling so depressed afterwards.
You know, that was my first Superman movie. I know it's a running joke, but I usually enter into the worst. My first Godzilla was Godzilla versus Megalon. Indiana Jones, it was Temple of Doom. That was my first one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is a good one, but I mean, like, you know, it's the one that people talk about least. We're doing all 4 Superman.
Yeah, we're not just doing Superman 4. No. we're doing all 4. I'll tell you what we're doing, guys. We're going to maybe cut some of them up into wee mini things as well if we manage it, and get some other content out there. But yeah, the bulk of it is going to be in the main stream with you guys in the chat, just as it always is. And yeah, the idea is we're going to be doing. If you look through a lot of the stuff that I've got set, we're themed. There's methods to our madness, and we're going to be looking at the 4 Superman films, the only 4 that really count. Well, 3 that count, plus Superman 4. Then we're also going to be looking at the first 4 Alien movies as well. So we're taking these self-contained little units of movies.
Now, that's an interesting question, though. Do you take Superman 4 over the Snyder Superman movies?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so now it counts. Good for you.
Only because it is a Superman movie. Snyder's never made a Superman movie.
Look at you finding positive stuff about that movie.
Yeah, I have always said that. I've always said it has Supermans in it. It's going to be an interesting night. If Adams manages to make it along on Thursday, it's going to be an interesting night.
Which version? And we'll be talking about that too, because there's 2 versions.
There's 2 versions.
Willie's very versed in the theatrical, and I just got done watching the Donner cut.
I've watched it once, the Donner cut. It was interesting, but I watched the original in the cinema back when it first came out with Kim, who was in here earlier, and yes, to me that's the movie. So regardless as to whether it was altered or changed or whatever, that's the movie I saw. And that was back in the day when you didn't realise that they were tampering with movies and all this stuff was going on because there was no internet to tell you, you know.
I think the most interesting thing is this is literally a case of history repeating itself, because this is almost carbon copy what happened to Snyder.
It kind of is, yeah. Yeah, we didn't listen to Adams about Cyborg.
Yeah, that's the comment that had me kicking it. Hashtag kick Lucifer really, really hard.
Yeah. That's home, that doesn't it? It's just violent. Hits you right in the heart.
I don't think Dave's ever going to forgive you.
This you'll be fine, boo. You'll be fine. Until he finds out none of Van Damme's films are going to be classics. But apart from that,
I know that Dave would forgive me. Those riots in Bristol, that was Dave. The news tried to say it was something else, but it was Dave kicking off because of what I said about Cyborg.
I feel like you got to give The Quest a classic just because it's got Roger Moore and Jean-Claude Van Damme in the same movie.
You know what? I was just the other day, I was thinking The Quest has got to get, regardless of where it ends up, I'll bump it up by 1 because Roger Moore's in it.
It's a fun adventure movie. I got to find that one again because that one I remember not being bad at all. I mean, for a generic title. Like
he directed it as well. It's like he should, didn't he? That's the one he directed.
Who?
Van Damme.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't looked at. I haven't watched that one in a long time, which is why I got to find it again.
Oh, I'll double check. I think that's the one he directed. Van Damme.
He's got a heck of a sense of humor about himself now. I wish Steven Seagal had that same sense of humor.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
Oh, he can look back and go, "Oh man, I was a bit of a dick," you know. But I don't think there's any way that Seagal has the ability. He just doesn't. He's not self-aware at all.
Oh, he was on this one like Onion movie or something where he played himself and he was like poking fun at himself, snapping necks and stuff like that. Past that, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think this last part of his career, the last 4 things he's done have all been focused on how ridiculous he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when Seagal did it, it was very much, hey, look at me, I've got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Rather than actually having a sense of humor about it.
Right.
Yeah, Van Damme directed that one. So he should have stuck with it and made a few more.
Yeah. Right, he went the Dolph Lundgren route, though. He just makes cheap movies that make profit now. That's a smart way to go.
He did like to take movies from directors and re-edit them. You know, so he did that in Cyborg, I think. That's why you get lots of repetitive shots of him doing the flying kicks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's his editing technique.
Does he call that the damn cut?
Yeah, he should too. But he also did that for Hard Target. You know, it takes a big ego to go in there and re-edit John Woo. So he said, I'll have a wee go at that. But I think it was, the final edit was mostly Woo's action that made it. We shall find out. It's next month. I
agree with Time Cop and Bloodsport. haven't seen The Quest, and it's been years since I've seen AWOL, but I will stand up for Time Cop, even when most people won't.
AWOL, which is Lionheart for our American friends.
You know what?
It's called Lionheart.
It's a movie not a lot of people have seen. It was called Replicant. You guys ever hear that one?
That is a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a Ringo Lamb movie, isn't it?
He plays a serial killer, and then they clone him to kind of find him because he's got like a memory kind of thing. So he's a new thing, or a new person, so he doesn't know anything really yet, but he's got to try to find a serial killer. That was a surprisingly good movie.
It's a good movie. I just bought it on Blu-ray. And it did cost $18.99. So yeah, it's I've just bought it on Blu-ray. This cost £1.71. That's less than quite a movie.
Postage,
fantastic. Postage was, I think it was $1.21 or something for the postage. Brilliant. So yeah, Hard Target is the only one that you ever bothered. I've watched quite a few of them. I'm not a big fan of AWOL.
Y'all gonna snub Street Fighter?
Yes,
kind of.
Going to go kick Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison want to be is going to feel it.
Yeah, Ringo Lamb is a goodie because he made the In Hell one as well. Was it called In Hell? The one where he was in prison. Because he made there's two Van Dammes that he made. There was Replicant, and then there was the one who I think it was called In Hell or To Hell. He was in prison, and that was a kind of gritty sort of like prison movie with Van Damme.
That one contained the most realistic martial arts scene fight of all time, as far as I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
Was it called In Hell?
No, yeah, I think so. He goes up to this dude, and he gives him this like downward condescending man slap, just whack, hits his head to the floor. And then the dude's friends all just come up, and he takes this. I'm super familiar with this martial arts stance. He like covered his head and went fetal, and they kicked the crap out of him. Most realistic.
Yeah, I remember that. Because a lot of people complained because it wasn't like a typical Van Damme movie, but it was Ringo Lamb was just like, it's in hell. I'm going to kick the shit out of him. That's exactly what happens. I'm looking because it's a couple of different cuts. Universal
Soldier is one of my favorites.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one because when we're doing these rankings, sometimes I'm going to lump a lot of movies together when we do the film and stuff, but we're not doing. It's not going to be Puppet Master 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be Puppet Master 1, then the rest of the Puppet Masters, that kind of thing, you know. Cool. But it almost gets that way with Van Damme as well. With a lot of the movies, I think that he's done, you could lump some of them in together.
I mean, Dolph Lundgren was amazing in Universal Soldier 2 as Sergeant Andrew Scott. Like I don't think he's played a character like that since.
Have you seen the most recent ones?
Oh, the Universal Soldier?
Yeah.
They don't even resemble the original stuff anymore.
No, but they are good. It's just kind of straight to video action movies. They are they're well above the average. The last two that were made, the last one with Scott Adkins in the lead,
I remember
is especially good.
The last two I remember watching, there was the Return with like Bill Goldberg when he came back. It was like around 2000.
Yep, which is fairly good. Yep,
okay. And then there was the one where they brought Andrew Scott back. It was like a couple of that was like 2 or 3 down the line because they did a trilogy after two more.
No, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. Yeah, Bill Goldberg one. No, that was that
one was like, what am I watching here?
That was because I had Michael J. White in it as well. It totally wasted. You've got all these great fighters with no good choreography in that movie whatsoever. Who was I thinking of? Because it's I need to check it up. It's another wrestler guy. It was a Universal Soldier Regeneration. I'm not getting his name.
Yes, I have played Broforce multiple times. Every single character, they're all hilarious. That's a fun game to just relax to. Broforce.
Universal Soldier Regeneration is worth checking out. And then the one that comes out after it, because it's a direct sequel to it. By this time, Van Damme is now the bad guy. He's like what's his name? And General Kurtz and Apocalypse Now. So they're So they're doing like Heart of Darkness with Universal Soldier and tease Marlon Brando. And it's in 3D. So if you've got a 3D setup and you get the 3D version, it's very good 3D as well. So that's just putting that out there. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is going to be a good show because, yeah.
When are we going to be doing the Van Damme one?
I'll check my thumbs. It's next month, I think. Oh, where did I go with that? Go back to my YouTubes.
Don't go down the infinity hole again.
Oh no, I'm not going to do that again. Therein lies madness, I believe to say. Getting lots of recommendations for slasher movies.
Excellent.
So we're doing Van Damme on the 15th of April. That's scheduled for.
So I've got a few weekends of Van Damme binge watching.
Yeah, but that was my thinking. People can get some stuff watched and you can really kind of like join in with it.
Yeah. Because there's some of them that I haven't seen for years, like Double Impact. I haven't seen that for fucking years.
We're missing a lot of chat.
I don't know what that's in reference to, but I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Street Fighter.
I think he thinks it sucks. You know what the funny thing is, though? Capcom makes like $1 million every time that movie airs because people just watch it out of nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They love it now.
I remember seeing it in the cinema. I was so hyped that I came out like crying.
Me too.
Kendo, that would have been brilliant. Kendo,
it was around the same time that Mortal Kombat 1 came out.
Yeah.
When they were just like, we don't care about realism. The ninja's wearing blaze yellow.
Thank you, Adams. That's who I was thinking of. The UFC fighter, not a wrestler. I was getting it all mixed up in my head. That's why I couldn't recognize the name. Yeah, that's the one. That's a good one. That's a good kind of low budget, gritty one to watch. And then that goes straight into the one with Scott Adkins, which comes after it.
That was called something like Days of Reckoning or something, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. They all tend to have more than one title, depending where they go out. I'll get back on the old wiki.
That'd be a great name for a comic book like crossover, Days of Retconning.
Yep, Days of Reckoning. Yes, that's the one.
It could be like a crisis where they restart everything.
And then they bring all the kind of TV movies and everything together as a multiverse.
Yeah, because everything's got to be a multiverse or a shared universe multiverse thing now.
Yeah, which brings us back to Zack Snyder has never made a Superman movie. As simple as that. He's yet to. Did you watch the Snyder Cut?
Yep,
I watched the clips of it, things that they changed and stuff.
I did all of it.
It's 4 hours, man. I've not got the time. I'm not doing it.
Well, it landed on my birthday, so I was like,
oh,
I don't plan on doing jack shit on my birthday, so I might as well watch it.
So what did
you actually chose to watch 4 hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League on your birthday?
Yes, I did. Because I'm a fucking mad. I am the Prince of Darkness. I do evil things like this.
You are. That's ultimate masochism.
See, people think that the Prince of Darkness does like really violent, disgusting. No. I watch Zack Snyder 4-hour movies. I fucking binge watch Friends repeatedly. That's the kind of evil. I thought it was because you're always
wearing sunglasses. It's dark in here.
The retconning is coming. Is it a retconning? Okay, first of all, I'm glad he got to put his cut out there because it gives you a trilogy that's a vision for one director, and I'm all for that. Mm-hmm. The fact that all of his superhero films are utter garbage doesn't come into it. He's got a fan base that like garbage, and so it's good that they've got this garbage to watch. So, how did you enjoy the movie, Lucifer?
I don't think he understands these characters.
He doesn't. He doesn't understand much of anything other than, I don't know. He should be making a screen version of Atlas Shrugged or something. Blooming.
I think
Superman.
He's coming from like straight adaptations of like 300 and, very faithful of Watchmen and 300. But then you give him this original thing, and it's like, I don't know what to do. You know what we should do? We should take Dark Knight Returns and Superman Death of Superman. Slam those in there because I need something, and then we can move on from there. But I mean, like I will say that I'm sure it's going to be more consistent because it's one guy dealing with it. But I would if you would have taken out the jokes that Batman had, most of them, I think the other one would have been a little bit more in line. Certainly, Superman was warmer in the other one.
I know, right, Pete? I'm fucking disgusting like that.
Yeah, we're gonna cut it in half. It's probably one of those yellow laminated one. We're gonna cut it in half.
Yeah,
just
I don't
scream.
I did like the Superman stuff in the theatrical. So I mean, the fact that he reeled that back and just made it really dark again kind of just makes me a very sad person.
Yeah, I think that the only thing there was, it felt like maybe Joss Whedon knew what Superman should be, but it's obvious the theatrical cut is not really anybody's vision. It's very much a hodgepodge of all different ideas and stuff.
The opening line alone Superman gave when in the theatrical, when he goes like, I believe in truth, also a big fan of justice. And then he hits him. And then in the other one, this new one, he just kind of takes the axe and goes, not impressed. It doesn't really sound like Superman.
No.
Wow.
But that being said, like, I might buy it on Blu-ray just, to have the entirety of the thing. Because maybe, 10 years from now, maybe my taste will change and I'll like it. But until then, I can't get through a screening. And I try for a few years. It's like, okay, let's try it again. Yeah. 40 minutes in, I'm like, I'm not going to do something else. I'm depressed. I'm so sad.
I don't know. I'll watch it someday, but I just...
Ooh, what did you think of Manhunter?
But did you like it, Lucifer? Was it worth watching?
I do actually think it was worth watching. I'm not exactly a huge Zack Snyder fan. Most of his movies, I watch them and go, "Why the fuck did I do that to myself?" I can't stand Sucker Punch. Don't even get me started on that. Otherwise, tonight's stream will be a 4-hour cut of me telling you why Sucker Punch sucks ass. Right?
I'm just going to say, hi there, Corey, and indeed I agree, which is why I am actually cultivating a mullet myself.
Mullet Nation friend population, you.
But I mean, personally, I like his take on Watchmen, the director's cut of Watchmen, more than the theatrical cut.
I don't know what the difference is. I saw the theatrical.
Oh, believe you me, there are differences. It's hard to see them, but they are there.
Is it just adding the motion comic stuff or whatever in there?
No, because that's the ultimate cut.
Oh,
that's the ultimate cut.
Okay.
There's 3 different cuts of Watchmen: the theatrical, the director's, and the ultimate cut.
My head hurts.
Yep. I mean, I see like loads of people go on going, "Oh, his remake of Dawn of the Dead was good." Sorry, I majorly disagree.
That wasn't
majorly
disagree.
It had pipe zombies.
Don't care.
They're all just trucking along with their arms like, ah!
That does not a good movie.
Go to Joy Adams to say hi to Facebook. Hi, Facebook.
Okay, Corey Fisher, welcome.
Look, I think
and Twitch, if you're out there watching, say hello.
Yes, please do, because we love you. You may think that we don't, but we do. We do.
I'll reserve judgment.
I do think the Snyder Cut was worth watching. I think as a Zack Snyder movie, it is not his best movie. As a DC movie of recent years, so from Man of Steel onwards, it is the best DC EU movie.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Hard sell.
Oh, I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just giving you my opinion, mate.
I like the lighter movies a little bit more.
It's weird because
I've already made your decision up.
It's weird because we can come on here and we can talk about how much we like zombie flesh eaters, and we can talk about how much we like a terrible kind of Joe D'Amato movie or something, Yeah. But then this big movie with all the essentially craftsmen and actors and people who are really talented who work on it, and I just sit here and I go, crap. Garbage.
I think Zack Snyder should have showed up in Joker makeup and said, "Do you want to know how I got this cut?"
There is a lot to say about the Snyder Cut. Not all good. you know, it doesn't need to be 4 hours. There's a lot that could have been taken out.
It's the slow motion. It's probably about 2 hours and 15 minutes if you were to put it back up to regular speed.
What about the aspect ratio? How was that when he did the whole 4:3 aspect ratio?
Personally, I didn't mind. I didn't mind the aspect ratio. I think it was kind of pointless doing the 4:3.
If you put a couple towels on either side of your TV, it'll look more like a theater.
That's what I do for our videos when we put them out.
Well, apparently the 4:3 is because it was made for IMAX cinemas, and of course their aspect ratio is closer to 4:3 than the 16:9.
But it's still not 4:3.
No, it's not exact 4:3. It's close, but not exact. Personally,
looks like pan and scan.
I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I think even if he had put it out as 16:9, I wouldn't have cared. But that's because I still watch like a lot of older stuff on a modern TV that's in 4:3 aspect ratio on a 16:9 TV. So I'm used to like the black bars and stuff. Doesn't bother me, but it will probably bother quite a few people out there. We keep calling it like the Snyder cut and the Joss Whedon cut, and after you see
Justice League.
After you see the Snyder cut, you soon realize it isn't the Joss Whedon cut and the Snyder cut. It's the Warner Brother producers cut.
Oh yeah,
and the Snyder cut. The stuff that Joss Whedon did, like they basically turned to Joss Whedon and said, "Here's a 3-hour movie. We want you to compress this as much as possible. And also, people are complaining about our dark tone. Here's some money to do some reshoots to put in a couple of jokes."
Oh yeah.
Right, that's basically the Joss Whedon cut. I think he kind of gets like the raw end of the stick when it comes to this whole thing. But the 4-hour cut,
I do too.
The 4-hour cut is a much better movie than what Warner Brothers put out originally. It's much more coherent. It makes so much more sense. It is enjoyable to a certain extent. In the first hour, there were a couple of bits that really made me cringe. That I was like, oh my God, that just looks so fucking ugly. It's meant to be impressive, but it's just making me go, no, my eyes. Towards the end, especially, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of fat that could have been trimmed out. You could have easily made this a 3-hour movie, and it would have been even better for being 3 hours. But is it the greatest movie out there? No, not by a mile. I don't regret watching it. I had a good time watching it, but you do have to turn your brain off, because the moment the movie finishes, all of a sudden you start going, hold on a second. That bit here and this bit here and this bit here. I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash whatsoever. There were a couple of moments with the Flash that were fucking amazing, and I mean amazing. But they would have been even better if they had someone else playing the Flash. I just don't think he suited being the Flash. I feel that they used Wonder Woman poorly to an extent. I feel that Ben Affleck's Batman in this was much better than I've ever seen him, until the epilogue, where there's a certain part in the epilogue where you think, oh great, that should be the end.
I've been avoiding all the stuff, so don't give away, because I will eventually watch it. Don't give away like anything.
Oh, no, I won't.
Actually, I don't care.
I will say though that
I honestly don't care. If I knew about Martha before going into Batman versus Superman, I might have enjoyed the movie more. I don't think it made the scene any funnier, but it might have done if I'd known beforehand. But to this day, I cannot watch that film and get to that. I've watched the film about 3 times, right? And all 3 times, I've laughed out loud at that scene. And every time I laugh louder. So I'm guessing if I watch that film again for a show, I will laugh even louder when it gets to that scene. And I think what that did, that scene broke me with Zack Snyder. So nothing that he did after that really bothered me. So, so the fact that he doesn't understand Superman, the fact that he doesn't understand DC superheroes, now it doesn't really bother me, because we've had that Martha scene, and that is quite possibly the funniest scene in any superhero movie ever created. Marvel, you give a leg to be able to create a scene as funny as that scene.
I think
I know it's not supposed to be funny, but it's hysterical.
There's a great opportunity for like filmmaking stuff in here, like because some of the clips I've seen, it's really interesting where they took certain things that were already shot and just like switched out the background and changed the entire context of all of it.
I'm with Corey Fisher here. All the best scenes from the 2017 cut were Snyder's filmed scenes.
Oh yeah. Well, they need that like juxtaposition with the humor versus the serious stuff. If it all goes, one way, it's parody. If it all goes the other way, there's no pressure valve, and you just sit there and just like get battle fatigue, I think.
But that's the thing. This 4-hour cut, don't expect any comedy. Don't expect any jokes because there aren't none.
I wouldn't. Zack Snyder doesn't really have them in there much.
It's hysterical. Come on, it's absolutely hysterical.
But also, like, I feel that there's a couple of lines in the Snyder cut where if you're a hardcore DC comic book reader, you're going to hear these lines and go, "Fuck you, Snyder, I'm out."
Well, I am, and after a couple of minutes of the credit sequence, I said,
Yeah, here's the truth. Here's the truth that most I'm hardly on Twitter these days. It's like if nobody's going to come and get me for saying this. Most Snyder Cut fans are not readers of classic DC comics,
but it matches up with today's comics now.
Yeah, so it's what's in there today, but they don't. They're not fans of the historical characters. And let's be honest, they changed decade by decade. They're never consistent.
Well, these are new 52 characters.
Yeah, that's the kind of the Batman and Superman that they're into.
Yeah,
and like Christopher Reeve, that was bit of silver and Bronze Age, and then who was it?
And Golden as well to some degree.
I'd put George Reeves more in the Golden Age.
Yeah, I'd put them both because the visual imagery of him standing with the flag and all that kind of stuff comes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the only thing missing is having an eagle on his arm. If I made a Superman movie, he'd have an eagle. There'd be a scene where he has an eagle fly on his arm.
Yes, and he'd be like, "Get out of here, get!"
And then he'd just go to a giant eagle and he'd have to fight it.
Pecking him.
Exactly.
But yeah, with the Snyder Cut, I would recommend the first season of Doom Patrol a shitload more than the Snyder Cut. If you're kind of like, do I want to watch it? If you have any doubts, just go watch the first season of Doom Patrol instead. It's a much better time.
Right. I haven't not seen it. I don't know, but is that reference pretty much spot on?
Last Night on Earth, it's a DC. It's a book. It's the.
It was a 3-issue miniseries under the Black Label. Imprint with Scott Snyder and
was it Scott Snyder or was it?
Okay, I got you. So is that like the, is that kind of like that look?
Yeah, it's a more recent one. Jake, I can understand why you get that feel, but it doesn't really reference Last Night on Earth. It references more Injustice Year Zero.
Mm. Yeah, Injustice is another microverse that they got going on like crazy too. Which I hate because Superman's the bad guy.
Yeah, good games though.
They're great games.
The games are fantastic.
I love the games. Yeah.
So they can have that universe just for the games alone.
Mm.
But okay, there you go. Then we've done the Snyder Cut, and only one of us has seen it. Fantastic. We'll do it in depth in about 2 years' time.
I saw a lot. I went and watched a lot of the clips that they changed. So I mean, I can save myself at least 2.5 hours that way because, I mean, most of the Whedon stuff is his. He just had to switch some stuff around, but so I'm okay. Yeah. I think I can wait for a long time, get it on a cheap Blu-ray.
I think you'd be surprised how much Whedon stuff was. Not even a little surprised. I think it was like 25% he kept just as it was, and then screwed with a bunch of the rest. Yeah,
I'm going to miss Superman's top lip though. Because in much the same way as Martha was a defining moment of Batman v Superman, that top lip was hypnotic.
He just looked like Adam Baldwin to me.
Yeah, because it was so well done. It's like if we didn't know that he didn't look like that, we would think he just had this goofy top lip. So badly done, but it was badly done in a well done way.
I just pretended it was Adam Baldwin because he still voiced him in Superman Doomsday. So he is a Superman. Fair game.
There you go. Yeah. Right. But we're doing Superman 4 on Thursday. That's a proper Superman.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Superman 3 as well.
I had a lot of laughter during Superman 4. It was actually it was a fun time.
I might be able to enjoy it this time. I think the first one, having seen it in the cinema,
I sure got a laugh.
I didn't laugh, but I might do this time.
You got to give a lot of allowances to that one, though. They ran out of money like 1/3 of the way through.
Yeah, it's not so much running out as Canon just not giving them the money.
No, that was when Canon was going into bankruptcy.
Yes, that because it's well,
Exactly.
even at that, it's like even when they started to
They gave all their money to Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, what to make was that? What was the one he made for that? Was that
Over the top.
arm wrestling? Yeah, Over the Top.
No,
yeah.
he did like Cobra and Over the Top, and like they paid him way more than they needed to for those movies. He scored a great deal. I don't know what Chuck Norris got, but I don't think it was as good as what Stallone pulled.
No, but I strangely, Chuck Norris's Canon movies, and we will touch on this when we do a Canon ranking. His movies were better than Stallone's Canon movies.
Oh, they were hilarious.
Yeah, much better.
There's that one point when the bad guys are trying to get in and do a bomb thing. What was it? Invasion USA, and he's all like, "Doesn't work? Now it does." He connects the thing, blows them up.
Oh god, I love that.
So funny.
Again. Yeah. Do you guys think we're ever going to see? I don't think we're ever going to see that. Do you?
I don't think we're ever going to see it. I would like to see it. I think that would be cool, but I don't. Think
I think The Rock has maybe 2 movies in him. He's getting older. He's going to maybe do his Black Adam movie and then maybe the crossover with Shazam if they even get that far before they reboot it again. I mean, I think.
Yeah,
but The
think
Rock
about
is
it.
a
By
machine.
then, by that time, they will be able to do a proper CG version of The Rock, unlike the Scorpion King. So there's just a case of just superimpose his head on the Rock.
I think
body.
they should use that model.
Just use that model.
That would be great. I don't know. I mean, the problem is, you've got 3 different tiers. You've got the DC guys, which are trying to do a certain thing. Then you got the Warner Brothers guys, which don't care about the DC properties. They like that money, but they don't care about the properties. They're trying to do a certain thing. And then you got AT&T up at the top saying, yeah, we would like this because we're all in debt here and we want some money.
Yeah.
And so, that's prone to, just like Sony with Spider-Man, that's prone to reboot. The cool thing about Sony and Spider-Man, though, is you get 3 different eras. Like you get the John Romita era, like the 70s or whatever, with the Toby stuff. You get the Ultimate Spider-Man with Garfield, and then you get your modern age stuff with the new guy.
I just imagine them teaming up with Garfield when you said that.
Which one?
I am tired.
And Odie. And Odie, don't forget Odie.
Yeah.
Hope that's not a Mysterio hologram. I really want some lasagna.
I was seeing the movie version of Garfield. It was quite surreal in my head there. I was seeing, hang on a minute.
Bill Murray.
Yeah. But you're right. So that could make for an interesting multiverse when they bring them together as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that be something interesting.
Well, Raimi's going to be in charge of that, so.
Yeah, never rule out Raimi to.
Which means
do something good.
2 things are going to happen. You've got the classic, the car, is going to be there. And so is Bruce Campbell. I promise.
Well, Raimi's directing the new Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to spurn out of all that.
And John Watts, who directed the Homecoming and Far From Home, he's directing the new Spider-Man movie. Obviously, I think he's also directing the new Fantastic Four movie for Marvel as well.
Right.
And there's already been leaks and set photos and stuff for the new Spider-Man movie, because you got WandaVision, then this new Spider-Man movie, then Multiverse of Madness. They're meant to make a trilogy. The new Spider-Man movies, apparently there's already shots and leaks and stuff of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire on set in the Spider-Man costumes. So it's going to be a big multiverse thing.
Yeah.
They just need to bring in Garfield and then we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I thought I crashed there, but it's just that you've frozen, Lucifer. I thought you were going to. I thought it was crashing.
I don't know if it's going to live up to the hype, but there's going to be a lot of hype.
Again, I visualized them both in the one costume there, just the way you said that. I'm taking things very literally tonight. Sorry, guys.
Adams, I don't know if Bruce Campbell is, but if Sam Raimi is there, Bruce Campbell will probably be there.
Oh, that would be great.
He gives that guy a job any spot he can.
Yeah. So that idea you had, Stato, of ranking the pre sort of like Marvel superhero movies.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea, but you know what? I think we might throw some of the Marvel ones in there as well to see how it goes. Because earlier on, we're having a good conversation, not about that, but we're having a good conversation about Jennifer Connelly, and she's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
The Hulk. You said that's your favorite?
One of my favorite Marvel movies, The Hulk.
What's wrong with you, man? I watched that show and my smile, just like Superman Returns, my smile faded throughout the entire runtime of the movie. When I realized I'd been tricked about 2/3 through.
I knew you wouldn't like it. I knew you wouldn't like it. So, but that actually comes in as pre-Marvel, even though it's a Marvel. So that will be in our listing if we do.
Is Nick Nolte sober in that movie?
I don't think so.
Was Nick Nolte ever sober?
I barely understand.
It's a much misunderstood and maligned movie.
It is misunderstood. No, Ang Lee played the Hulk.
I think it's terrific.
Ang Lee.
I know.
5'2" director playing the Hulk. He's got a gut.
It's auteur perfection. I think it's really good.
I'll say the army scene.
History will prove me correct.
When he fought the army in the
with Wullie on this one.
When he fought the army in the desert, I think that was probably one of the most Hulk scenes in any of the movies that he's been in. I'll say that part was really great.
Yeah,
I am kind of with you on this one, Wullie. I'll admit, when I first saw it in the cinema back in like 2003 when it first came out, I remember coming out of the cinema being like, what the actual fuck did I just see? Holy shit, this was a mess. And then it was about 2 or 3 years later, someone gave it to me on DVD, and I was like, I'll give it a rewatch. And I just enjoyed it so much more on that rewatch. There was something about it that I was just like, oh,
pays
shit.
dividends on rewatches. It has layers that are not there in the most of the Marvel movies. It's there in some of them. You can watch something like Winter Soldier, you get new things.
How far back would you go, and would you include TV movies? Because I would include TV movies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But they got cinema releases in Europe, so they count. So the I saw Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man in the cinema.
Did Bixby, the Hulk, Death in the Family and stuff get?
No, I think that was one of these cases that went straight to TV here.
Okay. Doctor Strange?
There was a cinema release of the Hulk, but in Europe, because I saw movie posters for it in France. But I don't know if I think it was released in the UK. I think it was straight to TV here.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that what you said there, Stato?
Doctor Strange?
No, that just didn't get released at all. I would have to get that away. If I don't ask him if you got Doctor Strange. There you go, mate.
How far back would you go? Like the serials? Like Batman and the Phantom and that stuff? Or would you...
No, that would be his own, that would be his own thing. We'd have to do that with the old Flashes and the...
Do we include Roger Corman's Fantastic Four?
I don't know if I would count that. It's never officially released.
It's never officially get released. We could
never
throw it in as a wee wild dog. We'll see. Oh,
The Punisher, that's one of them. Captain America was one.
Change subject. That's too hard for me to think about. Well, I'll include it. I haven't seen a new Friday 13th flick since I know.
That's because there was a legal dispute with Friday the 13th.
Yeah, big legal dispute.
I think it was
for years.
It was something was passed where the writer gets some rights and stuff for anything that was in the first movie. So that would be Cap Crystal Lake, Jason, all the important stuff. So Cunningham could make another movie. He just couldn't use, and he could use the hockey mask even. You just couldn't call him Jason. He couldn't call it Crystal Lake. So it's either pay that writer a ton of money or, take it to court. And Cunningham's taking it to court. And that's why it's been, the last one was that remake.
Yeah, because there was meant to be a couple of years back, there was meant to be a new remake that was meant to be done as a found footage movie. But it didn't go ahead because of the whole legal dispute thing.
That's okay. That probably wouldn't have worked that great.
No, I don't think it would either.
Especially if that Hellraiser, they tried to do the found just to keep the rights.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't see it. I saw a little bit of the stuff. They didn't even get Doug Bradley because he was just like, nope, no.
Yeah. They showed Doug Bradley the script, and he was just like, "What the fuck is this shit? Get the hell away with it!" And, like Clive Barker had some really harsh things to say about that movie as well.
Yeah, it's on Tubi. I think it's on Tubi.
Yeah, that one, and then the one after it.
I still haven't. Yeah, even I might just put it on while I'm working one afternoon or something.
I think I'd heard the one after it is a bit more. It's a slight. It's it's more like the comic books that they got going on.
Right.
A bit. It reminded me, the clips that I saw of it reminded me a little bit of The Crow, the second one, City of Angels.
Oh yeah.
Because it's got like a gold tinge to it, like a yellowish tinge to the movie,
right? And
stuff. Yeah, it's weird stuff. Hellraiser's never been my thing, but yeah, I saw a few. Yeah, that's right. When I was a little kid, I watched any horror movie. I watched anything, and I was like, Pinhead, yes, because it was just a monster to me. And then I grow up, and I can understand it now, and I watch it, and I'm just going like, where were my parents? This man has a dick literally attached to his head, and he's killing people in a nursing home. What is happening?
Fun for all the family.
Yeah.
I love the first two Hellraisers.
Yeah.
Enjoy the third one.
It's the fourth one when he went to space when it went off the rails for you?
Yeah. But that was the one I'd never remember. I think I'd seen it all the way through, kept falling asleep. But I needed to turn to that.
It wasn't as good as Jason X, huh?
I love Jason X.
Can't stand Jason X.
I love Jason X.
Oh no, I think you're going to be ranking those two.
Yeah, no. Jason X is like. I mean, you've got half the cast for Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, and then you've got like a slasher movie, and you've got I love it. Love that movie. It's
I'm just glad that Chucky never went to space.
I'm not a purist for Friday the 13th. So no.
Oh, I wouldn't say that I am. I mean, I love Jason Goes to Hell, and most purists hate that movie, but I have a great time with it.
Yeah, I like that one too.
All the ones that people hate, he's like, yes.
Yeah, that's my top three. I'd probably put them in there, and then it's either was it Jason Lives Again or
what 7
or Part 3D?
Jason
yeah, the one that was it Tom McLaughlin? Oh, who was it? Who's the director on that one?
What for Jason Lives, number 6?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the parody one where he did the James Bond opening and stuff.
That's the end of like the Tommy Jarvis trilogy.
Yeah,
it starts with the James Bond opening.
Yes.
Just thinking about it, I laugh. I enjoy it. Yeah, Tom McLaughlin. He was a director on that one.
I enjoyed that one. That was the first one I ever saw.
They had to do something after the 5th one when everybody was waiting for Jason. And then it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's the subverting expectations moment. Everybody got mad.
Yeah,
the 5th one I would actually compare a lot to the Halloween series. When they just like have this total false start, and then they would just forget about it and pretend it never happened, because Halloween did that like 4 times in its entire runtime. I mean, what, 12 movies, 13? It's had like 5 reboots. It's insane.
Yeah, it is. I'm checking it.
I love Event Horizon.
I kind of wish John Hammond had built the Event Horizon. It's bad, no expense.
Yeah.
And then he sent Sam Neill there to do a tour.
See, I want to watch Event Horizon now. It's been mentioned once, and that's it.
Yeah. But the President Pete, well, this talk here, he's looking for.
Oh, sweet. He's going to bed now? Great.
There you go. That'll do it.
Oh boy, don't look under your bed now. Giggity giggity. Out.
Oh. Well, we're not going to rank the Friday the 13th because there's not enough of them.
It's 13?
How many
you just have to make two buckets, yes or no.
we Yeah. Yeah, we could rank the killings or stuff like that, but that's too much work.
Well, then you'd have to sit and really watch them.
I mean, we like to do stuff like the rankings. I think we've realised that after the first one. But we don't really need to watch all the movies that we're ranking to do it.
We just need to know of their existence.
We discovered that's a thing that we can do and get with it.
When are we going to rank? We're going to be ranking best, because I'd say the big mouth, large mouth, he's going to go near classic.
What's that?
Y'all aren't fishermen, are you?
Oh, got you. Right, okay.
And then ranking bass, the animated.
Again,
you know what?
Saul Bass, I'm thinking. I'm still thinking of Peeps mentioning Saul Bass. No, I'm not. I've never fished in my life.
Never? You're on an island.
Never. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's this big, though, does it?
It kind of is. I mean,
I've
when I
always
look
lived
at
near
it,
a fishmonger, so
it's not that big when I look at it on the globe. Explain that, smart man.
Yeah, well, you know.
That's because the globe is very far away.
No, I'm looking right at it. Like, got my face pressed against it. It's not even that big. It's like
No, you used to see kids going fishing. They'd have their fishing rods, and they'd have like their cans of Tennants, and you'd be like, yeah, that the cans of Tennants. I can see that being fun, but why would I sit with a rod? It's like, no, thank you very much. It's never been for me.
No,
I might enjoy it now.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might enjoy it now.
What do you suppose you'd use as a bait? An enemy of yours, maybe?
Max Havoc Blu-ray.
Dragging some guy around into the boat.
Do this. This brings all the fish to the pond. No idea what that means. I have got no idea. There you go. You're getting a thanks for that.
Oh, don't mention.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ideas for ranking stuff. I mean, there's a lot of horror franchises. I mean, if you wanted to hurt yourself, you could go watch the Wrong Turn movies.
I've never seen them.
Wrong. They go from I reviewed them all right there.
How many wrong turns can you take?
It's like 7 or 8 of them.
Oh, right. That's a good call.
Bravo, Jake. Bravo.
Found footage ranking movies.
And indeed, this is an island with a fish and chip shop in every corner. And I'll be getting a fish supper from one on Friday night.
Do you like fish?
Yeah, as long as it's deep fried and batter. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I do like fish, not just deep fried and batter. Yeah, I like fish.
I think if it swims, it should stay there. Unless like a cow falls over the boat, you can rescue it and then eat that. If you can grab it in time.
Use fish as bait to catch a cow. That's not going to work.
I don't know if they eat that.
We could give it a go. Find out just to make sure.
No, more likely going to be a bear that comes at you.
Oh, wouldn't that be a surprise? They don't even have any of those around here. I've been obsessed with watching this one channel where it takes like 2 predators, like animals, and pits them together and like does stats and stuff like, would a Siberian tiger beat a polar bear? Who would win in a fight? And then they go down like what all their pluses and minuses are and stuff like that, and then kind of figure out which one would win. That's great stuff. Stuff like Wolverine versus honey badger. Stuff like that. Like great stuff.
It's obviously a honey badger.
Oh yeah, he did win. It was like a crocodile versus. There's some easy ones like a crocodile versus a Komodo dragon. There's no contest. The crocodile takes it every time, but they do
unless a Komodo dragon's got a knife.
They do like a gorilla versus a tiger, stuff like that based on strength or speed and all this. It's a lot of fun to watch. And when the Snyder stuff came out, like the whole big controversy, that's all I heard from every channel that I saw. Dang it, everybody had something to say, so I'm just like, I'm done. I went and I watched like a bunch of like guinea pig videos and a bunch of who would win in an animal fight videos. I feel much better.
That sounds good. I've been staying away from everything, as you know, so I've got no
Best way
idea
to do it.
what's going on.
Just living in a shed. Get away!
There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure if you like it. You
Absolutely.
like it.
Second that motion.
Yep, that's it. So that's why the Fast and Furious films are my guilty pleasure. Having said there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure,
you
actually.
should put those in a superhero movies now.
But they practically are, aren't they?
Those dudes are overpowered,
yeah,
like a lot. Both The Rock and Vin Diesel are both like 3 times stronger than a normal dude.
Yeah, those Death Race, that's half a bros.
Is there 4 of them?
They're quite good.
There's a remake and 2 or 3 sequels with like Luke Goss. Jason Statham was in one of them.
Yep. I like the Death Race remakes. I think they're pretty good, actually.
With the Luke Goss?
Yeah, his as well, yeah. I think they're all not bad.
Funny to think he was like a Backstreet Boy band type character, and then he went and played Jared Nomak, and it was like, wow.
There's a brilliant documentary about them.
Oh, yeah?
I've heard of it.
It's a brilliant documentary about them.
I watched a few interviews with them, and my mouth was just open with their pastel shirts and their like long hair and all this stuff, and I'm just like,
well, they got back together and they made this documentary, and I need to watch the whole thing because I stumbled across it like halfway through, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, is this like Spinal Tap, or is this real? And it wasn't like Spinal Tap; it was real.
Oh, it's like the
but
80s
you
they were
watch
big,
it,
right?
Sorry.
It's like the 80s they were big, right?
Yeah. So, but you watch it and you're like, oh my god, this is the Eagles. They're just unbelievable, and it makes for a really entertaining watch. So, yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but if you find
it's
it,
called After the Screaming Stops.
But he was great in Blade 2. I liked him a lot in Blade 2.
Perfect title. Give it a watch, guys. It is really good, and it's like Spinal Tap is like nothing on this. This is the real thing.
You guys see all the? Oh, go ahead.
Another really good music documentary to watch is the Great Hip Hop Hoax. Have you ever heard of that?
Is that the one with
yeah.
Phoenix?
It's about these 2 guys from Scotland.
Yep.
Who want to be rappers. They want to get a record deal. Every time they go to like a company, they audition or whatever, they play their demo and no one will take them, but yet they've got a little bit of a following. They believe in what they do. And one of them comes up with the idea of, what if we just lie and say that we're from Florida, and they put on like American accents, and then they became really big. They got signed really quickly and became really big because of it. And then later on, they were obviously found out. Great documentary. Absolutely amazing.
I've heard of that. I need to check that out. Yep. What if it's on Tubi?
You never know. You never know. You've guys seen all the Del Toro films, the Guillermo Del Toro ones? You seen all those? He's only done like 5 or 6 like that are like properly his.
I think I have.
It's like The Devil's Own.
Devil's Backbone.
Or Devil's Backbone. Yep. Devil's Own is that
Chronos.
Brad Pitt movie. Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
The
Don't forget Hellboy and Hellboy 2.
Hellboy and Hellboy 2. Yeah.
Blade 2.
Blade 2. There was another one he did in like a Spanish one.
Yeah.
Kronos.
Yeah.
Kronos.
Yeah.
And that other one, that big kind of like.
And then that ghost one that he did just
that was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. Scarlet something or one of those.
I never did see the new one. He did
Crimson Peak.
Yeah, Crimson Peak.
That's the one. Crimson Peak.
I never saw the Fishman movie. Weird me out a little bit. Yeah,
I've not seen that. For some strange reason, I think as soon as it wins an Academy Award, I lose all interest in wanting to see it.
Yes. The hype was real, and now I was like, I don't think I can. Nah.
Yeah, it's not always though, because I watched a couple of months ago. I watched Green Book.
Oh yeah,
all right.
It's really good. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. That was because that won the Academy Awards. That's what's his name? Viggo Mortensen,
Right.
and the chap who's going to be playing Blade. I think is that right?
Yep.
His
Oh,
name,
Mahershala Ali.
Yep, he's Blade.
That's your man. Yep, and it's based on a true story, and usually that's kind of like, oh no, this is going to be terrible. But I watched it streaming 3 months ago. Really
We're not going to get the Blade with the wooden daggers. I'm sorry to say.
No, it's never going to happen.
No.
It would be too awesome for the world to take. Blade should walk into a room. You should have like
members
staff music playing the minute he walks out of the room. The wagga wagga guitar going, all that kind of stuff. The women should just look at him and practically melt just by looking at him, And he should
think Power Man should be.
That's exactly how Power Man should be as well. Yep. Yes. Well, I mean, the guy that played him in the Netflix was good, and it was okay for what it was. It wasn't bad at all, but it still wasn't Power Man.
I kind of tuned out. I mean, I watched the whole thing, but I tuned out halfway through because I didn't like the second half. I really liked the first half with Ali in it, where he was like the crazy pimp guy or whatever. And then
that was the best part.
when they went to the evil Bible quoting brother that was like way over the top, and he was all like, "I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you." Yeah, I was like, that's not. And having the artificial strength and stuff, I didn't like the superhero fight stuff.
I was exactly the same. Once Cottonmouth got killed, I was out. I was just like, no, this sucks now. That first half was great. And the second season was the same. Like the first half, I was like, I am so invested. And then halfway through, it's like, fuck this.
And took the sister anymore. The sister was really credible until, after he died too. And then when the other villain came in, she just kind of took a huge back seat and they had nothing for her to do. And I was just kind of like, well, that's...
Yep, they could have lost the plot, as it were, with it. Yeah. Again, that's also a case of like having the actor in a role and then realising once they're filming it, they've got this plot going and they stick to the plot, whereas somebody should have said, hang on a minute, we're looking at the dailies, we've got to keep this guy for the whole season. That should have been the case if that was what they did. And then they just rewrite for this character for
all
the rest
of those
of the season.
miniseries were too long for me. Like the Punisher one, those were 6 or 9 episodes or something like that.
13.
Yep.
13. I'm sorry, they should have done it in like 5. Punisher.
I didn't mind with the Daredevils though. I didn't mind with them at all.
I didn't even finish the 3rd season.
Loved it.
Sitting and brooding and crying in a basement, like, is there even a god or anything?
I didn't mind that. I liked all that.
I liked the first 2.
I loved all 3 of the Daredevil seasons. Loved the first Punisher season. The rest, I can quite happily live without. Loads of people like ranted and raved about how good Jessica Jones was, and I think it was a very overrated show.
Didn't like David Tennant, huh? I think that's what everybody was responding to because
I liked the first season. I liked the first season of it. They totally lost the plot in the second season. They completely lost the plot in the second season.
I got halfway through the second season and was just like, no, can't do this anymore.
I don't remember most of it just because it all blended together and just there was so much downtime in those where they were just sitting there just looking at each other and just, I'm so depressed. I think it was like they watched the DC movies and they're like, oh, that's what they want. Well, we'll outdo them. Everyone, depress yourselves. Okay. Everyone's got 5 o'clock shadow, including the ladies.
Yeah, it didn't bother me in those. It didn't bother me. I did have pangs for 1970s period pieces if they'd just done them that way. If they'd just given us what I watched recently was a show on a TNT show that's on Netflix here called The Alienist.
Right. And
they've got this huge budget, to kind of create a kind of like turn of the century kind of New York, sort of like just before we're heading into the 20th century. And it's a hugely expensive show, and they've created this kind of New York. And I think, just have done a show like that for Luke Cage and just not made it, like 1973 or something. And
that would have been like recreating that. Unless it was something like Black Dynamite, would have probably gone down in flames. For sure.
I don't know, though. I don't know if it would.
I don't know.
For a streaming show.
Then again, I mean, they'd probably make it like something like Peaky Blinders. But, for the blaxploitation type stuff or something like that, maybe that wouldn't work.
That's my dream Luke Cage show. Would be if they did something like that.
But even then, that yellow shirt would stick out like a sore thumb because the 70s were all like earth tones and muted.
But did you know that, like, I think it may have been even before Fox did the first X-Men movie in the 2000s. There was a point where Quentin Tarantino was interested in doing a Luke Cage movie, and he was serious about doing it. Yeah. And when asked about it, they said, how would you do it? And he said, you know, that first issue, that exactly like that, but on the big screen for 2 hours.
It's probably why he didn't get it. Or didn't develop.
Could possibly be. But I would have loved to have seen it.
They said, we're not making a good Luke Cage movie.
Or you don't know. I think at that point, if it wasn't somebody well known, they weren't going to touch it. Because I mean, Blade was the one that proved the rule that you could take an unknown nobody and make it a hit. And then X-Men proved you could have silly powers and make it a hit. And then Spider-Man proved bright colored comic suits could work. And that's how we got to where we are now.
Yeah. I've not seen the animation of Black Dynamite. Is it good?
I didn't see the animated one, but I saw the movie and I laughed through a good chunk of it.
Yeah, the movie's good. I don't think there's any rules. I think Hollywood makes rules because Hollywood has total contempt for comic books. I say this all the time, and I believe it. They have contempt for comic book creators and contempt for comic book characters, and they believe they know how to do them better. And that goes for Marvel. That goes for everybody that makes these kind of movies.
The trouble is, though,
maybe somebody like Sam Raimi, I would exclude from that. People who probably did actually read comics when they were kids.
Sam Raimi loved. That's why he did the Romita stuff. That was a love letter for him.
Yeah. But again, they're working within an industry with people that don't think that way.
But it doesn't always work out so great because I mean, anytime if you were to faithfully translate Mark Millar, nobody would go see that thing because every character he writes is horrible.
Yeah.
They had to actually make Kick-Ass nicer because there were so many terrible scenes in there where you just go like, I don't want to see that. That's horrible. Oh, geez.
I went to see Kick-Ass because I wanted it to be like the Mark Millar stuff, and I was disappointed that it wasn't.
Comic fans maybe, but like the general audience would never accept a movie that dark, ever. No way. Not especially at that time. Maybe now. Maybe a little bit more now, especially in streaming. But at that time, I don't think it would have worked out so hot. You know, you got to have the hero win, and you got to have. You can't have the girl that he's got a crush on sending him pictures of her screwing the football captain.
I respectfully disagree.
Face. I just don't think that would have worked theatrically. Because I mean, you look at some of these movies that are lesser known. Dread's a great example. Both times didn't fly. Both had very different. I mean, the other one was more tonally. The newer one was more tonally correct. Didn't work. The other one was fun. It was actiony. Worked slightly better because it was a Stallone movie, but it still didn't work. You know,
but that's also comparing a 90s movie to a more modern, like tweens kind of.
Well, I think it's just character. I maybe in streaming it would work, but I don't think it would work. Dread works over in the US as much.
I don't know because bear in mind.
Can I just buy in a wee second just to remind everybody that on the 22nd of April, me and Starter will be talking in depth about both Dread movies.
That's right.
Yep. We're getting probably different views and opinions coming. So join us on the 22nd of April for a double bill of Dread.
It's a little taste.
Cutting them promos.
But also, if you've never hit the like button, hang on, I'm turning into somebody who knows what they're doing on YouTube. If you've never hit that like button or hit that bell, please do, because seemingly it's good. Thank you. Now carry on, guys.
So yeah, like one thing you got to bear in mind is the Stallone Dread movie was in the middle of the 90s. It had a fair bit of marketing. The Dread movie with Carl Urban was more low budget, more independent. It had a few legal issues because it was actually meant to come out, I think it was about 4 or 5 years before it actually came out. So there was a lot of advertisement that went before when it was meant to come out so many years previous. And then there were problems and it was put off for so many years. By that point, a movie starts to feel very stale and people lose interest. And by the time it did come out, the marketing for it was abysmal, absolutely abysmal. Most people didn't see it at the cinemas because they didn't know it existed, not because it was Dread and not because they saw the trailers and thought, oh no, that's too dark for me. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but like the argument with Kick-Ass, yeah, you may think that the Millar stuff, if they'd done it like that, it would have been too dark for mainstream audiences. These are the same mainstream audiences that around that same time, every year were going to see the fucking Saw movies. And if they're not dark for mainstream audiences, then I don't know what is.
That's torture porn for teenagers, is what that is.
Torture porn for teenagers. See, I hate that term, torture porn, because porn suggests that you get arousal from it, and I don't know anyone who's ever got arousal from the Saw fucking movie.
Porn's just an obscene movie. If you go pornography, the actual definition is just a very obscene movie, and that certainly still fits for the current definition of it and stuff. But then
there's a lot.
I've been trying to think of what we should do for our next horror show special. I think the Hostel movies or something. I think we should go down that route.
We could do.
Yeah, I think we will do. I think we'll go down that route and we'll try and link some movies together.
What do you mean?
Because I was trying to think about, there's various kind of links to sort of like 70s, 80s, again, video nasties, Italian exploitation kind of movies for the Hostel movies. So I think, mark that for a calendar. Wait for that to pop up at some point. I don't know, with a huge timeline of things that I've got planned out.
Well, Pete already marked this as Gang Up on Stato Night. I'm happy to take all comers. I don't care.
He's marked. That's the trade night. He's marking that one down for that, I think.
You can consider me Mickey from which one? The Snatch. Hey, go on. Hey, have a bite.
Do you like Dags?
Dags.
Do you like Dags?
Yeah, I like Dags.
I fucking love Snatch. And the movie.
Peaky Blinders.
Hey, Lucifer, explain. Can you read that one from Jake?
Lucifer, explain to 14-year-old me watching Amanda being pushed in the needle pit, giving me a chub. You're called the exception to the rule.
What's the number for the cops over there?
There's always one.
Yes, exactly.
I'm shocked.
Oh, thanks, Pete. Look at
that. Here's a lie.
Got somebody on my side. I'm coming over to UK territory here. Just being as subtle as I can so I can blend in.
Exactly, we hear you.
Try not to step on too many toes and make too many offensive accents or anything like that. I'm being good, dang it. Saying all the right things.
Say can you see? Yeah, I think we're probably going to get a wee bit heated with Superman 4. I think we're going to probably get a wee bit heated with.
I gotta wonder if it's that kind of thing where you just both get passionate and they're agreeing, but they're still screaming about stuff. It's like you've got in a political argument when they're both agreeing, but they're just heated. And it's like, and another thing, this you could see the wires. I know. Right. Nuclear Man had girly nails, right?
All contained for Thursday. Because you'd mentioned Stato doing the Godzillas. I'm still not caught up in the last couple of Godzilla movies.
Really?
Lucifer, what's your knowledge of Godzilla like? Have you partaken of the Man in Suit movies?
Of course. I'm not exactly. I wouldn't say that I'm well versed though. I'd say that there's a lot of refreshing need to be done. As long as I don't have to go anywhere near that fucking awful Matthew Broderick movie. Oh God, the 2014 one.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you watch the Matthew Broderick movie and then you watch, or you watch, that one, and then watch Creature from 10,000 Fathoms, is it? 20,000 Fathoms. Creature from 20,000 Fathoms. Right. Watch those movies. It's almost a shot-for-shot remake. No kidding.
I'll find out one day, but I don't want to go anywhere near the Matthew
Even
Broderick
the monster design looks just like it.
Walking down the street and everything, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen it. They both die on a bridge. it comes from like the Atlantic, down the Atlantic. This one started in the north, but it came down the Atlantic and hit New York, get on New York, and was hiding in the buildings and stuff like that. They had to get a scientist in the army in there to fight it. The only thing that they didn't have was there was a danger if like you shot the creature and it bled all over the place. The bleeding was the blood was radioactive and it was making people sick. But other than that, it's almost the same story.
That doesn't surprise me.
I don't call it Godzilla. I call it the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms remake, and it's so much better.
I've been upgrading my Harryhausen's.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah,
Oh.
I'm getting the Blu-rays now.
Nice.
So you've been upgrading my Harryhausen's.
Oh, look at that! We've gone from old school format to new school.
To new school format. And look, there's a combination of both. Because I just pulled out to watch it. So I'm going to watch that quite soon.
Nice.
City of the Living Dead. Well, how would you populate with the population sign? How would you go ahead and do that?
I don't know. It's Lucio Fulci. You do it crazy like. Crazy like indeed.
We don't ask questions like that. That's called a sensible question.
Did you guys ever see that movie? My Name is Bruce.
Yes, I got it on Blu-ray.
That point where Luigi's dying and he puts the number up so that it like takes the population down one more on the side. Dedicated to his craft, and how Sam Raimi's brother played 3 different roles in that movie. That was a great movie. My wife hates it, but I thought it was hilarious.
Corey's uncle got him into Godzilla. I have it on good authority that his uncle's a very attractive and talented Scottish person. He may want to join us on that evening once we do eventually get round to ranking the Godzilla movies.
Oh, I know all about Godzilla.
Do we do them by sort of like eras? Yeah.
You got the Showa, the Heisei, and the modern?
Yeah. Is that the way to do it?
Well, the Showa it's like through the 70s. And the Heisei, I think, is the 80s to the like 93, 96. And then the modern starts, or the millennium starts 99 and goes to 2006. And then you got the new ones.
See, doesn't even have a wiki open.
I don't need it.
That we know
Impressive.
No. I know this. I know me some Godzilla. I mean, the thing that I know most is that he ain't King Kong, and that's the worst part about it. Because Godzilla didn't have a movie where he got a pacemaker, and then found a wife and kids when he was supposed to be the last one. So, I what else can I tell you? Everybody gets a bad movie in there. and
as I say, I've just wanted, because Pete mentioned there. About Goodbye. Yeah.
I gotta watch me some Harryhausen movies. I got a bunch of them.
If you've not got the Blu-ray of this, it's also got like about a 40 or 50-minute interview with Tom Baker, which is brilliant. Just Tom Baker to be Tom Baker. And it does have Caroline Munro in high def.
You know what I was watching recently? Those How to Draw Marvel comics, or How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way with Stan Lee and
John Romita, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
not John Romita. It's
John Buscema.
John Buscema. It's so funny to see those guys reading off the teleprompter because it's so natural for Stan. He's like, I want you guys to listen to me, you wonderful new Marvel creators. And then it comes John. He's like, it is essential for you to learn all of the basics before you move on. And he looks so uncomfortable, like he doesn't really want to be there. Notice the slope of how this works. If you get that down, it will be easier. And then you can come and work for us, true believer.
I really dug the comic book greats one with Stan Lee.
Oh, is that like with Todd McFarlane?
There was the Todd McFarlane one that he did.
In here, and it'll be really cool. The kids love the chains.
He did a Jim Lee one. He also did Will Eisner and Bob Kane and
Bob Kane.
Loads of different ones. The Bob Kane one, you can miss that. But the rest, I figure absolutely fantastic.
Thing I created called Batman. Oh my gosh, you haven't heard of that? You under a rock? Hey, I'm Bob Kane, and maybe you've heard of me. I made Batman. This ascot.
I've been flicking through this week, just on and off, just to
finger right.
God, this is the Wullie show and tell.
Every single page drawn by Bob Kane, seemingly.
Yeah. He's probably still. Have you seen his headstone?
Well, not recently. No.
No, not
Have
recently.
you read it?
No.
Once again,
my
not recently.
goodness, 1 second.
Should we Google it?
I think I know what you're going to say because I saw that Batman and Bill documentary and they had a bit about his headstone
my
in
goodness.
that.
Looks an awful lot like Dick Sprang, but here you go.
Well, this is a sensitive subject for me because just thinking about how much that Bill Finger created and how he died penniless by himself, crying when he got a credit on the Batman TV series, just one, and he cried because that was the most recognition he'd ever gotten.
Yeah. Evil Frog, how the devil art thou?
Comic book greats were inebriated the hell out of life.
Yeah, that's the one.
I need to watch that.
It should be up on YouTube somewhere, I would have thought.
Oh, I need to find that.
I think it's on Hulu. They have a rights to it, I think.
Did he say something like, "Son, you need to learn how to draw before you can be a success at Marvel"? And then Liefeld said, "I'm going to show him wrong." And then went out to prove him wrong by becoming a success without having any ability to draw whatsoever. Is that what happens?
It's a lot of Lee being like, "Shut up and draw. Show me how you draw."
All right.
Thing. Oh, that's what you can draw, is it? Well, I'm sure I could do better.
I've got it here.
Is it got
do you want me to share it, or do you want me to just read it to you?
Share it.
Okay, I'll share it. Hold on.
We could do a wee copyright thing against us, so that's cool.
All right. Let's see here. There we go. Share.
Jake's worked it to the
good man
to the chat as well.
There it is.
Got it already. I think Did you remember to share audio?
Oh no! This is just
this is all right. Okay, right, yeah. We better not watch the interview.
It's not a video thing, but God,
this is really ghoulish, even for Team Dark.
Blessed with the divine inspiration of a rich imagination, Bob created a legendary legacy known as Batman. Introduced in May 1939, comic book Batman grew from a tiny acorn into an American icon. The hand of God creation, Batman and his word personified the eternal struggle of good versus evil, with God's laws prevailing in the end. Bob Kane, Bruce Wayne, Batman, they are one and the same. Bob infused his dual identity character with his own attributes: goodness, kindness, compassion, sensitivity, generosity, intelligence. Sorry, I'm trying. Integrity, courage, purity of spirit, a love of all mankind.
Wow.
Batman is known as the Dark Knight through his deeds as he walks in the light of a higher power, as did his creator, Bob Kane. Beloved husband, father, grandfather, in loving memory.
Wow. Did you write that and say, when I die?
Did he have humility in there? I don't think he had humility in there.
You didn't need to, really, did you? I think we could all read between the lines what a humble man he was. I don't mind. I think Bob Kane is in many ways, the reason why Batman was a success. Even
he was a marketer.
Yeah, he was the architect. He was there at the start. It wasn't all his idea, but he's the guy that pushed it. He's the guy that got it going.
The name was his idea.
Yeah, and so, yeah, okay. I mean, it's like all the great stuff that came afterwards was different creators. But what can you do? I mean,
I can be bitter.
If you're going to bash anybody, bash Liefeld. You can take it. Here's the thing, though. Bob Kane can draw feet. Not great feet. Got to be said, but he could draw them.
No, I'm not bashing him. I'm just a little bit bitter about the Bill Finger thing, but I'm so glad he's getting credited now.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. Poor Batman. I do love me some Batman. I don't know that I've got.
I'm not desperate for him.
begrudgingly, I found a good price on it, but I ordered the hardcover Killing Joke with both the original coloring and the new coloring.
The Absolute edition.
Yeah. I got that one because I mean the art. Not a huge fan of the story, but I think I've got most of Batman's like really important stories. I don't have Long Halloween.
They're bringing out a new edition of that, I think.
Every like few years they do.
Yeah, they're bringing out a new edition of that, which is got everything collected that's been done, stuff they did for the Absolute, and it's all collected.
I think the only Superman story I got to get is For All Seasons. I don't have that one. I could almost reach over and show you. I'm just going to read that again. I've been digging at things to dive into, just to kind of like free up my mind because I'm so busy right now. So that's one I've pulled down to read because you can get through that quite quickly. It's really good. I'm looking forward. I just got this Bram Stoker's Dracula starring Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. I've got to wait for that as well. When you showed me it.
Beautiful art.
Yeah.
Beautiful art.
Never even don't know how that got past under my radar.
It's me too. Well, it came out only last November, so it's new. But shame on you.
I know. Only got 3 EC books this week, so.
Goodness gracious! Which ones now? How many?
I think I've got 15.
Notice how you're rubbing your face like you got a problem.
Yeah, I think I've got 15.
Just embarrassment. He opens up his mail and his wife looks at him. He's just like, "Don't look at me."
I don't know. I can't help it. It's all I'm spending money on. There's nothing else to spend money on.
That's okay. No, that's all right.
That's all I'm spending money on.
Great black and white art. There's no downside.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, I think I now I've even got one pre-ordered that hasn't been out yet. So they're still bringing them out.
Are they still? Fantagraphics
still bringing them out. So yeah, so I'm living in hope that the two that I can't afford because they're going for silly pennies out there, that I can get them when they bring out paperback versions because they must be going strong if they're still bringing them out.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So how many? Like you say, you read a couple of these before bed. How many weeks, months, or years of pre-bedtime material would you say you have at this point?
Yeah, I think I'm good for the year. Yeah, because I've also got the 2 monster omnibuses for Stan Lee and Jack Kirby monster stories, and I've got the 2 Stan Lee Steve Ditko suspense omnibuses as well.
Cool.
So I'm fine for just diving in for like a quick read, a couple of 5-6 page kind of old school stories before going to bed. It's perfect.
Well, I'm a bit of a book hoarder too. I guess you can't call it hoarding when it's books, right? Because you're just building a library. But I did a count, and I think I've got over 100 movies or 100 books that I haven't even read yet. I just scooped them up.
I'm laughing because it's so fucking true.
That's exactly it. I stopped buying books. I get the idea collectible DVD and stuff like that, but now I'm like, how can I afford to buy books?
Yeah, lockdowns have been great for people that like physical media. That's for sure.
Yes, it has.
They got to start collections. They got to start some kind of a hobby.
Oh, I didn't have to start. I just got to spend more time with mine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was telling my wife, like, if we ever had any kind of a lockdown here with all the unread books and movies, unseen movies and board games or whatever we got here, it's like we would not have a problem for a year for entertainment at all. We need to talk to another soul. That was my crazy laugh.
A lot of comics.
14 tubs of comics. I'm just filling bookshelves because I'm just buying trade. I've got a couple of long boxes. I think I got 4 short boxes, but I mean, I just like the idea of looking back at my bookshelf and just seeing it covered in comics. Like I got so many essentials and Showcase Presents there, and I like to collect whole runs. Like I got the whole Rebirth for Superman and Action Comics and the whole Ghostbusters and I think Atomic Robo, almost all of that. Fables, got all of Fable. The Parker series.
I thought when I started getting these easy ones, I would just limit myself to particular artists. But then I got one, and I'm kind of like, you know what? I never realised just how good this guy was. So now I'm like a huge Johnny Craig fan.
Now I'm living through your example or learning from your example. I got the one, and I'm afraid to buy another because that adds up.
It does adds up, but yeah, got like Lucifer. It's my birthday this month, so I've got birthday money, and I'm using that. That's why I've got so many this week.
And every other day is your unbirthday, so you just got to buy
every other day's my own birthday one. So half of them have been bought birthday money, and a good few of them are bought with just money. What's that word I'm looking for? An overdraft. That's it.
There we go. There we go. Debt is what I like to call it.
What are your opinions on the phone book sized omnibuses? Like, do you like those, or would you rather have smaller trades to work with?
I like, and I don't know, for some things, the Marvel ones are pretty good because they lay flat pretty well, so you can put them down on like a on a lectern or on a table, and you can actually read through them. You know, take the dust cover off and it will lay flat, and you can actually read through them. So they're pretty good. DC, I think I've got the thicker the DC ones get, they tend to just go for cheaper glue binding and not stitch binding, and they tend not to lay open that well. So in the cases of DC, thinner's better. But with Marvel, it's either way. I am going to get the Tomb of Dracula Marvel Masterworks, which is coming out in October.
The weight doesn't bother you? You don't mind like holding a giant book?
No, I'll put them on the table. I'll pretty much read them on the table, or like I say, if you're sitting on a couch or whatever, I'll have them in the arm of the couch kind of thing. So it doesn't really bother me that much.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
I would have taken it to bed to read a story before, I wouldn't take in the Monster Omnibus. Let's read the first story about Groot. There you go. Page 748. No, I wouldn't do that.
I quite like the thick ones. I mean, as you will know, Wullie, I've been getting the library editions of the Hellboy stuff. And I only had 2 more volumes to get, and my friends down at the pub, they got me the last 2 volumes for my birthday. So I was like, yes, get in. And they are all real thick. You can knock out like an elephant with one of them quite easily. And they are just beautiful, gorgeous books. Absolutely amazing. And I've also got the 3 absolute volumes of Preacher. And they are super thick. They are like 3 giant Bibles just full of comics. And it's amazing. Absolutely love it.
Well, I've got tomorrow, I've got turning up. I've got the Jack Kirby Captain America Omnibus. So that's the stuff we talked about a few weeks ago. So it's all that 1970s return to Marvel. So things like that are really, that's not going to be too big. It's just probably the right size to collect that entire run in an oversized volume. So that should be turning up tomorrow. And I recently bought the complete John Byrne She-Hulk Omnibus as well.
Wow.
I got that second hand. Yeah. And second hand is kind of bit of stuff happening in the inside cover and that, but the whole book, everything's fine, and you can read it, and that's the main thing when you go for a second-hand book. It's like it's all holds together, so it's almost, it would be not mint, not near mint, but very good condition if it was a comic version of it. Is what I'm saying.
I almost bought the Batman Black and White Omnibus, but because I got the first volume and I loved that, but I'd heard it dropped off so hard, like in the 3rd and 4th volumes in terms of story quality, that I just kind of never bothered. But that's a huge popular like gift idea for my wife. She likes to get me those big omnibuses. I think she's got me the Nightfall trilogy, the Complete Oz, like a bunch of those just giant ones. And I had like 9 tubs, like these like hefty totes of comics that I was like, digging through, and I'd want one for reference or something. So she finally got fed up and bought me this giant bookshelf. And then she bought another one just for good measure. So she's
you've got to kind of get the kind of bookshelves as well that are deep enough to, so you've got your books in them, but you could also get 2 layers of DVDs or Blu-rays in them as well.
Oh yeah, easily.
You've got to double up on them.
Definitely. Yes. I get 2 layers of like graphic novels on this thing. It's got nice wide shelves. No sides though. It's a bit of a trick.
So you can still get the Tomb of Dracula Omnibus which is out there. But I think the Marvel Masterworks version is going to be like the first 11 issues, I think. So it's going to be a thinner hardcover. But they've all been kind of like rescanned and remastered. So that's why I'm going to wait and go for the Masterwork version of that. And it'll probably, in typical fashion, they'll bring one out every 2 years or something. But
I just read
the
that.
one.
No, do not worry about that. That's not what I've done at all.
And Jake can halfway confirm that the second half of Batman Black and White's all over the place.
Yeah, I was reading all them digitally, so I can also confirm that because I got a
little nervous. I heard the second one was pretty decent, and then third and fourth are like some of the stories you're like, what are they getting on about? What?
Yeah, I think originally it was like, let's like some really cool creators that could work really well in black and white, tell a Batman story.
Yeah, the first volume's amazing.
Yeah, and that's to stick to that. That's what works, but it's not so great.
Started to get some indie guys in there and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, we're indie guys.
Well, yeah, I'm a bird.
I do black and white. I'm down.
Yeah, we do black and white. We can draw feet.
Yes. Yes, we can.
All kinds of feet.
All kinds. Messed up ones, not so messed up ones.
Ones with 9 toes.
Ones with 9 toes. Hills Have Eyes style.
Well, Hills Have Eyes. I seem to have been
West.
buying lots of stuff. I got the Hills of Ice Part 2, which I didn't get when it first came out, the Arrow DVD. So
yes,
at the original or remake?
First and second.
The original.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to watching that again.
Good stuff.
You could rate Wes Craven movies. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's got some. He's done some amazing. He kept on reinventing himself. Isn't that amazing how he do that? He'd start with like Last House on the Left, and then when you think you know him, he does Nightmare on Elm Street, and then we're gonna go and do Scream and make everything different again. And just when you think, he's washed up, he's got nothing, he just goes and does something crazy.
Don't forget, if I remember correctly, it was called Music of the Heart. That he did as well.
He did, yeah. I didn't bother with that one.
His only like non-horror or genre movie.
Actually, I do think I did watch that one. I can't remember watching it. I had no recollection of it whatsoever. But that's just getting old. I'm forgetting things. My brain says you don't need to remember. That's a movie with the fiddles. You don't need to remember that.
Every milestone movie he did had so many pretenders. Scream alone.
Yeah, doggy flashbacks. You can't beat that. That alone makes Hills of Ice Part 2 worth owning. I watched something the other night, which was we mentioned it on our horror show when we were talking about I Spit in Your Grave.
Oh yeah.
And it was the documentary that his son made.
Oh yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime. So if you've got Amazon Prime, it's there. Be careful because it's got two things that come up, and one is Prime and one isn't. Don't know what that's about. But if you've got Prime, then it's included, so it's on there. So it's worth a watch.
Cool.
Because he's interviewing his dad and family members and everything. Talks about the whole background to it, and
awesome.
Yeah, so it's there and it's on Amazon Prime. So I think people might be interested in it, and it's called
Surviving I Spit on Your Grave.
That's it, something like that.
There we go.
Wait till your father gets home, something like that. That was a good show. That was the original Family Guy, wasn't it?
Which one? I Spit on Your Grave? I hope not. Well, depending on the family, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, that used to be on. We used to have that on at tea time over here. Wait till your father gets home. Yeah, growing up with I Spit on Your Grave, and it was 2019. It gets 2 out of 5 stars. The Guardian, so you know it's worth watching. Because the Guardian lost the plot a few years ago, and they've never found it again since. They have no idea what's happening in the real world.
The Guardian? What is this, a review place?
The newspaper.
Newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're reviewing movies in the newspaper there, something like that, or no?
No, they always have their critics that review these kind of things, or whatever. Yeah.
I kind of forget that movie critics exist. I mean, like aside from like the Rotten Tomato style ones, like you don't really see too many like on the level of like Leonard Maltin or Siskel and Ebert or
Mark
that kind
Commode.
of thing that I see. I know they exist. I haven't seen them in a long time.
I know they exist. I just don't listen to them.
Because I mean, there's the YouTube critic, that's got millions of viewers and stuff, which is one thing, and then there's like the honest to goodness paid by an establishment style critic that I just don't, because I don't think anyone listens to him anymore.
I don't think there's
I never listened to them in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think there's many real critics around now. The way it used to be was you would get people who genuinely liked to be critics and do the job, but they were few and far between.
They knew stuff about making the movies.
Yeah, but most people wanted to be a film critic so that they could eventually get a column and become a columnist. That's the way it used to work with newspapers.
Yeah.
Now everybody wants to be a columnist because they just want to do opinion pieces.
Crap all over movies for a living.
And that is that everybody's now just writing opinion pieces, and journalism has gone just down the toilet.
Yeah, big time.
The thing I always hate is they always use the same standard for every movie. You can't really rate Raging Bull the exact same as like Friday the 13th Part 4 or something like that. It doesn't hold up to a standard. You know what I mean? Like, that's a terrible example because I mean, like, that's
not necessarily
it's the middle of a franchise. But I mean, if you've got like a decent horror movie and a drama, two very different ways to kind of do that. But then if you hate horror and you're reviewing it, even if it's freaking amazing, you're gonna be like, this is trash. Watch Mark reviewing Snyder Cut last night. He's pretty much agreed with Lucy around it. I heard it's pretty. It's so pretty.
See, Mark Commode's interesting because he knows his stuff. He knows his video nasties, but he's getting almost unbearably woke these days.
Yes, isn't he fucking just?
So he should be careful because he could end up getting himself cancelled because he'll end up thinking of himself as being problematic when he watches any of the documentaries he makes. But he's interesting because he's clued up. He knows what he's talking about, and he actually does love movies. So it's one of these things where he's almost between a rock and a hard place as a film critic, I think. I think he should be very careful because eventually the woke are going to come for him and try and cancel him.
It's going to happen to everybody.
If he likes the wrong thing.
So would you say he's like that person in a zombie movie that got bit, but he doesn't want to tell anybody? So he's just like rolling up his sleeve and acting normal.
That's kind of it.
No.
There's one in every movie.
No, see, with the whole woke thing, I don't see it like that. I don't see it as like, people slowly getting infected. What I see it as is now is a really good time to like get stock in Kool-Aid and Nike sneakers because it's Jim Jones 2.0. Yeah. That's what it is. From where I'm standing, from everything that I've seen when it comes to the woke thing, whether it be like with Mark Commode or anyone else, it shares so many similarities.
They're pinpointing and beginning to go for their own.
Yeah.
So the uber politically correct are now going for the not quite as uber politically correct.
Wait a minute, is it cool if my Kool-Aid matches my sneakers? Because I do like blue raspberry.
It's got to match.
But cults do that where they start off going, oh, we're all great and awesome, but you know what? I'm more wholesome than you are. And then they start turning on their own. It does happen in so many cults. But what's going on with the political correctness woke thing, it is so eerily similar to everything that happened with Jonestown that, like, I know it sounds like I'm joking. I'm not. I really do think it will end up being Jonestown 2.0.
Yeah, I kind of know where you're going with that. I kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah, but yeah, Kim Newman, Kim Newman's he's the man.
Yeah, I do like Kim Newman.
And Barry Norman, God bless him.
Yes.
He was like, what's the equivalent of a Barry Norman in America? It's kind of like pre-Siskel and Ebert in a way.
I would say Leonard Maltin is probably the
Leonard
closest.
Maltin's probably the closest, but Leonard Maltin, when he's
still so
interviewing,
different.
Leonard Maltin wouldn't interview a big Hollywood star and make them feel like a piece of shit. That's the difference between Leonard Maltin and Barry Norman. Well, yeah.
Bravo. Bravo.
Barry Norman.
I find all that press stuff absolutely insufferable nowadays. You can see the stars are usually uncomfortable because they've been there for like 3 hours answering the same freaking questions, and they don't want to play a little silly game. Okay, we're gonna do this game. Oh, jeez. Okay, hurry up.
It's all quite insufferable now. You know?
Bear in mind, like those press junkets they do them for about 16 hours a day.
Know. You can tell usually when the stars just don't want to have it anymore. I've been asked this question 12 times.
That's why you never see Tommy Lee Jones on one of them junkets, because he did one once before, and all he would do is be like, "Nope, yeah, move on." Like, they couldn't get shit out of him, so they're like, "No, don't bother putting Tommy Lee Jones out there. It's not worth it."
Oh, he gets mean. He got surly mean. That's okay. It's fun for us. No,
I don't know why I thought this, but I did watch another good movie. It was streaming. Nothing to do with Tommy Lee Jones. Tom Hanks. So Tom. That's what it was. Is that News of the World? I watched that.
Oh, I'm bringing her home.
Yep. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thoroughly, that was spot on. That was almost like watching the movie again.
Well, you know.
Did you watch that?
No, I saw that trailer and I just laughed when he was all. That was like it seemed like a Hollywood star way of, like, you know, I wanted there like to be an Oscar scene flashing, like the little, like, this is going for the Oscars right under it. I said I'm bringing her home.
Yeah, no, it's just like that. If you enjoyed that moment, watch the movie. You enjoy it. So yes, another recommendation. Watch that. It's not a video nasty.
It's not a good Western.
It's good. Yeah.
Does it have apes? And if not, why not?
I'm trying to think. I don't think it does. So it's got horses.
Yeah.
No, not quite the same. Apes on horses. You know, there's a connection there. There's a connection.
See, now we're talking.
I drew an ape this week. Did you see that?
Yes, that was fucking awesome.
I did a warm up, and that was exactly 15 minutes. I set a timer. And I gave myself 50 minutes to draw Orko to warm up before doing some drawing.
I wonder what I could draw. I've never spent 15 minutes on a drawing.
Yeah, 15
on a warm up, I should say.
Yeah. Oh no, that's
quick and fast.
That doesn't work for me. That's a gesture drawing for me if I do that, because I need to get in the flow of mark making.
That's how I do my layouts.
Yeah.
And then do enough of those perfectly. Well, you just have to do less on the art side if you do your layouts perfect.
Yeah, no, I just don't do layouts.
What?
I just don't do much in the way of layouts. I do focal points as to where things
layout's
are going
my
to be.
favorite part.
Yeah, I do focal points and the way things are going to be, and then I draw in layers, and that allows me to change things if I feel like it. So yeah.
Yeah, see, but like I stopped doing layouts because I find I do layouts to be like awesome, and then by the time I finish the page, I'd be like, it looks nothing like my layouts. It's completely fucking different.
Yeah,
so
that's
I just go in fucking blind anyway.
The more that I work digital, the more that's the way it goes. Yeah. So I end up doing more work that way. I do layouts, but I wouldn't show them to somebody and say that here's a layout. You know.
Oh God, no.
It can be as simple as a stick figure.
If I showed people my layouts, they'd be like, no one's backing the book. No one. In fact, like, no one would back the book, but everyone would still request a refund.
You should tell them this is the finished art. Under promise and over deliver is what you do.
I just need to remember that for the...
Kind of like my dream house would be this like little shack, right? It's just this crappy little shack, and then under it is this big freaking complex, like a mansion under it. But you know, you bring somebody home and you're like, "Hey, look at my little house," and they're like, "Oh, great, that looks nice." And then they leave, and they don't know that you have a sweet mansion under said outhouse looking place.
You want Rob Zombie's home that he had at one point.
Well, without the dead stuff and whatnot in there, maybe I'd probably put like.
Don't
Are you
talk
covering
badly
his
about
eyes or
dead
his
stuff.
ears?
Both. He can hear through his eyes. I almost said it correctly then, trying to fuck it up.
But hear through his eyes. That's why.